bad feeling about this.
Oh man, Zay just let out, or was that Matt? Who was that?
It was me.
She let out a huge,
totally me.
huge burp the second I hit the go live button. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Y Wing podcast. We are, when was the last time we did this? Like 2 months ago?
I don't know.
We fell behind, but it's an important time. You know, we got that nice, that desirable time slot of 10 o'clock on a Thursday in the middle of the first presidential debate. We're gonna get all the viewers on this one.
Oh yeah. That's a presidential debate that honestly nobody should be watching because it's already happened.
No one cares about.
That's fucking today?
Yeah, it's today.
Oh.
It shows you how little I give a shit.
It's in a locker room with no audience. Yeah, it's gonna be so fun to watch. YouTube is gonna copyright claim anyone who streams it. Or CNN's gonna copyright claim anyone who streams it because they
It's CNN.
Yeah, it's CNN. But more importantly, we've got Acolyte to talk about.
Oh boy.
And my first question is, did you guys do your homework?
You know,
For the most part, yeah.
normally homework makes me want to gouge out my eyes.
So
This one made me want to gouge out my eyes, rip my tongue out, and strangle myself with it.
we're 5 episodes in. We're more than halfway through the season. What are your guys' thoughts so far? We'll go through each episode individually, but first of all, let's get an overall understanding here.
Overall, it's fucking confusing. It's weird. I don't understand what the hell they were planning on doing with it. Yet somehow, the last 2 episodes had a little bit of redeeming quality to them, but just not enough for me to care.
That sounds about right. What about you, Matt?
You know, I think Zay said it as best. Like, I'm just confused throughout the whole fucking thing, to be honest.
We need to go into this when we get to the episode 3 because that entire fucking thing is just, the whole thing. I was like, what?
All right. Yeah, good. Perfect. So, yeah, we are 5 episodes in this mystery show that's what it was touted as. It was touted as a mystery thriller. Every mystery got solved pretty much almost immediately after it was given.
Yeah, that's one thing that kind of bothered me, too. I was like, oh, so we just...
The only remaining mystery is, what is it that the Jedi did that was so bad?
I will admit there were 2 things that actually legitimately caught me by surprise in the show. One was in the first fucking episode. And the second was in the 3rd episode.
All of my surprises were in the 5th episode. That was where all the times I was actually genuinely surprised. Just because
there were a lot of things that happened in the 5th episode were like, oh damn.
Yeah, they did shit that I didn't think they would even do. So
they didn't have the balls to do.
Yep, we'll go into that once we get to it. We'll start with episode 1. All right. So we'll try to keep things a little positive. What's something you liked about episode 1? And then we'll go over the laundry list of things that we didn't like.
You know what?
Okay.
Can I start?
Small thing. This is exactly the kind of shit that makes me like stick around for shows like this, even though they've been getting worse and worse and worse. Fight choreography was pretty fucking good. I liked the fight choreography.
That is the only redeeming quality of this show for me, is the fight choreography.
Like even with fighting the Jedi and the whole, like, you barely see a lightsaber blade turn on for the most part, it's still entertaining.
Fair enough. Oh fuck! Well, can we share answers? Because I'm coming with something else. I like that Carrie Ann Moss was in it for 5 minutes. 5 straight minutes.
Master Indara or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
I think she's had a total of 8 minutes of screen time in the entire show.
It was so dumb how she actually died. I was like,
oh yeah, right the fucking save the innocent knife.
Yeah, having 2 hands and could only stop 1 knife.
Here's my thing too. Like, she at some point she's like, "Oh, we have an unidentified Force user," when everyone clearly thinks it's OSHA, right? Because of the fucking description or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Can
like, so how would Indara not know that?
Or better yet, can we go into the fact that we have unidentified Force user as the identifying flaw? They interview the bartender, who then somehow is able to identify this girl. First of all, he's non-human, and as we know in Star Wars lore, like, people are racist in Star Wars. Everyone who's not your species looks the same, right? So this guy's definition was like a human,
A female human,
a female
darker
human
skin with weird hair.
with weird hair, and somehow the Jedi were like, "Oh, that's OSHA."
Yep. Like, you couldn't see like 75% of her face. You could see like the eyes.
Right. So how in the they could have had like a security tape or something, but no, they identified her the day after, because they said last night Indara was killed.
Also,
can
I
we
need
talk-
to throw this out there because this is something that throws me off just with my line of work. But every time I hear her fucking name,
OSHA?
I'm like, put the tools away! Put the tools away!
I'm surprised her sister's name is like FEMA.
Right? Jesus Christ.
MSDS.
And then another thing is, like, they fucking brought, instead of just bringing her to, like, I don't know, take a recording of the fucking bartender, like, describing her, they brought him all the way to the fucking
Oh,
airport.
yeah, no, it's just like,
Instead
he's
of
gonna
just-
be safe because there's 5 Jedi here.
They brought the
Like,
bartender.
what?
First of all, he has a kid too. Dude's got a bar to run. They decided to just take him halfway across the galaxy.
across the galaxy.
And there's the fact that, like, he almost got killed before by that person.
Also, can we point out the genius move of having someone who's suspected of killing a Jedi Master? Let's send a guy who's been knight for
A
2
Jedi
years and his
Knight
Padawan.
and a Padawan.
That'll be enough.
I think the entire thing on that, though, was they had a rapport at one point. It might be different. Still stupid. Still stupid. Don't get me wrong.
and then the
But it's
stupidity-
literally like they're trying to garner to her sympathies or something.
Yeah, again, no, they are under the impression that she killed it. First of all, I wanted to point this out before we got to this, was the fact that the concept of, like, time doesn't exist in the show. Everyone just gets where they need to go instantaneously.
Yeah, it is weird.
They're trying to convince me. So they say she's working for the Trade Federation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about her tattoo, which she got in Corpsec, which I don't know what the fuck Corpsec is, because that's a section of the galaxy. You don't just work for that section of the
Yeah, you
galaxy.
don't-
There's
Yeah, it's not
Corsec,
Alex.
which is Corellian security, but that's not what she said. The subtitles say Corp with a P sec.
Oh yeah, I noticed when you turned on the fucking subtitles too.
Yeah, I thought it would be good on the first part of the video, but
Well,
I
I
decided
mean,
to stop doing that.
If you think about it, though, there's also the whole Corps, like Marine Corps, is spelled with a P too.
Well, yeah,
It
but
could just be a weird pronunciation thing.
Yeah,
in
Corpsec is a section of the galaxy. That's where, like, Nemoidia is, where, like, all the trade federations, where the Munilinst is, where the banking. That's like where all the rich people live, all the merchant stuff live. And then the dude talks about how he goes to Nar Shaddaa with the fellas for like a night out. So this guy went from Corpsec to Hut Space and then flew back. Apparently, that's how they spent their night. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, can we talk about the fact that, like, the first thing they do is like, hey, we know you have a mech neck by this name here, and the Trade Federation's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all.
Yeah, they were just like, the Republic has made it illegal to use anything other than astromech droids.
That's stupid.
And they're just like,
okay,
what?
That's stupid.
like, that's why they're called mech necks. I thought that's like the whole point of their job.
That was
to
a
do that.
stupid thing to include. Why would they make that a law? Like, there's probably got to be some, like, safety standards you have to adhere to. Maybe they're violating
Oh, dude,
those.
there have been so many mentions of stuff that's illegal to the High Republic in this show that I'm just like, why?
What time period?
Why?
did it take in to-
What kind
I
of
don't know.
like what policy brought this about to be illegal?
Right?
And some of it's in fucking episode 3, so I'm gonna save that. But
There
you
you
know.
There you
Can we
go.
talk about Yord? Like the fact that they try to make Yord act like Anakin did, or Christian hate.
No, they make Yord act like a fucking idiot.
Well, he is.
Well,
an
actually,
idiot.
no.
Let's not beat
No,
around that bush.
Yord,
He
the
is-
guy
He was
played
the
by
pretty boy.
Charlie Burnett, who is the one who said on camera twice that Anakin was the one who blew up the Death Star.
Oh no.
Yeah, funny enough, I feel bad for Yord's character because he is only there to be completely emasculated at all times.
Yeah, especially when
Despite the fact that
what is it,
his
the second or
plans
third
are usually
season
the ones that
shirtless?
everyone ends up doing anyway. It's like Yord usually has the sensible plan, except in the first instance where he's introduced, where they decide to go after the person who is under suspicion of killing a Jedi Master, and then they thought, you know what? Let's put him on a ship with 3 droids. That should be good enough.
Oh fuck yeah, that whole thing too. Oh my god. This place is run by droids, and the dude just fucking like breaks out.
Hey guys,
Like,
do
immediately.
you think that guy with a bunch of cybernetic attachments might be a security risk on a ship full of droids?
Nah.
Oh my
Nah.
god, he pulled a hick.
Nah. Also, why did they decide to take the escape pods? Why did they just take the whole fucking ship?
That was another thing that was so
'Cause the droids
stupid
afraid
about
of the
that.
chairs, right?
Oh
You mean the chairs that their guy could disable at any point in time? Pretty sure that's not a problem.
He could have just
But,
programmed
okay,
the droids
so-
to take it to where he wants to go too.
The ship thing was where I was about to draw the line and say I can't watch this fucking show anymore.
Uh-oh, that's
Period.
only like 10 minutes in, bud.
I need for you to relate to this, I hope, because it wasn't so much like what happened on the ship. I thought it was fucking stupid that they took the escape pods and all that and just left the ship to fucking careen into a planet. The thing that made it where I was almost just gonna not watch at all any more of it was the terrible CGI.
Mm-hmm.
With the fucking like mouth covering parasite thing, that whole thing, the entire scene where the thing's careening towards the planet, it all looked like a fucking 3rd grader did that in like MS Paint. I swear to God.
Zay.
It is the shittiest CGI I've
was
ever
bad.
seen
Zay.
in something that is considered a professional release.
Layoff, man. They only had $180 million.
That makes it so much worse.
Layoff. It only cost $22 million an episode, guys. Calm down.
Oh my God.
And I love how he
$9,000 a second. Chill.
The guy that they subdued too was like insane. And she's like, her first thought is, oh, I can't leave him to die, so I'm gonna get rid of the fucking parasite.
The guy that just told her was a violent criminal and like, it should be fine.
Yeah, they were like, oh, that's
Go
the thing
wrong.
they put on for violent criminals to stop them from being violent.
Can we also talk about how the ship randomly came out of hyperspace right next to a planet?
Oh yeah.
What are the odds?
Yeah, what kind of fucking hyperspace lane runs that close to a planet?
It was literally got caught in the planet's gravity and then
Better
plummeted.
yet, how did the Jedi catch
That is
those
not
people and
how
put them on
also,
Coruscant?
surrounded by an asteroid field.
Also, how did the fucking Jedi capture the escapees and put them on Coruscant jail that quick?
Because
And
time
then and then somehow
doesn't
not
matter.
Find OSHA at all?
Yeah, no, there is no concept of travel time in this show at all. Period.
Yeah, they had enough time to catch the escape pods, take them
Send
back
out
to
probe
Coruscant.
droids.
They said they left probe droids, yeah, but why didn't they just fucking investigate while they were there?
Here's my thing. How did the probe droids not find OSHA? Did they say it took them like a week or something like that?
No. This
Okay,
shit
I'm not
happens
crazy
like a
about
day. It happens like the day of.
I know, but like, did they say that it took a week or something? Like the
No.
probe droids were there for a week? Or
No.
something? Okay, no.
No,
Okay,
so
missed it.
when they're all in the prison in the Jedi Temple, they're talking about how they left probe droids there and now they have to go back.
Why didn't they just leave people?
Mind you, this is in Corpsec, which is in the Outer Rim. So, being generous, they're on their way to Coruscant, so they might have made it probably to the Mid-Rim. Even still, that's a few hours. I was doing all the math earlier. Apparently, the trip from Tatooine to Alderaan took about like 6 to 8 hours, right? So that's basically my frame of reference time. That's
I
how
mean,
long-
when you think about it, even like in terms of spaceflight, that's damn near instantaneously, but still, Jesus.
But yeah, so also while we're moving along here, we'll talk about how she decides to just strap herself to a chair
Oh,
and
no,
hook
it
to
wasn't
the
even a
bed.
chair. It was a cargo container.
while the ship
Yeah.
is
It was literally
plummeting.
like a storage place. And she's just like, this is the only solid thing. Click.
While the ship is plummeting in complete free fall.
Can we, like,
No
okay,
engines.
There is a 0% chance that someone would have survived that in anything other than a fictional universe.
Yeah,
but
also, why
like,
did the ship
And then she
immediately,
woke up
like,
with
just
flawless
get set on
flawless
fire?
makeup. Not a scratch on
yeah,
her.
like barely any smudging on her, no fucking broken bones or anything. Even though the strap that held her on was broken and she was halfway across the
Yeah,
ship.
she got she was unconscious, so she got flown somewhere. No injury.
Also, why was the ship like just covered in snow and ice on the inside, as if she's been there for like days?
Well,
So I think that was the whole, like, it broke up, and because that planet was like an ice planet,
Right, I know
right? So it was
that, but I mean,
probably
like-
constantly snowing for a chunk of time.
but yeah, so again, she probably should have died of frostbite too while she was at it. But you know,
Fucking exactly! She was unconscious in the freezing goddamn cold!
oh, all right. Oh, what happens next? Oh, the Force Vision, right? With that
Oh my god, that was so dumb.
terrible,
my God.
Just running.
terrible.
Yeah,
bomb.
just the little kid. Fucking Oshi. What the fuck?
You were alive.
We're
Yeah.
on episode 5 now. Has that little like poem been of any real significance except for like in the 2 times it's been brought up?
You mean the one
Not that I
time
know
when
of.
we first saw her sister in a fucking Force Vision, and then the one time when they were like flashback to kids?
Yeah, and
No!
they just cringily do it again in the opening scene of episode 3 where it's just cringy dialogue. Yeah, so I hate that.
Oh my god.
So I hate that.
It's so bad.
All right. Oh fuck, what happened after that? Trying to move along here. After the Force Vision, the Jedi. Oh yeah, you're steaming his shirt.
Oh my god, yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
fucking
so
put your
fucking
shirt
weird.
on.
You're deciding to
clothes
do
on,
laundry in the middle of the fucking living room of the ship.
Like, bro.
Like they
And then of course we got the actual scene where the close your eyes. How can I?
I don't have eyelids.
Oh yeah. Like,
Can we point out friggin' Jedi Master nepotism?
fucking, what's his name?
Vernestra
Soul?
Rowe? No,
Is that no?
the green
What?
girl, the green chick.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
the char-
Holy
She's
shit.
the character from the comics, the actual High Republic books, and she's played by Leslie Headland's wife. That's why I call her Jedi Master nepotism.
Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense.
She cannot act.
No, I was
Oh my
always
God.
wondering why that character was so horrible.
What's funny
Oh
is
god.
all of the review channels I've been listening to talking about it, who've been like speculating who like the grand like actual evil mastermind is like people want to think it's her just because she acts so. Either her writing is just that bad or she's evil.
Or she's just a terrible actor.
Yeah, exactly. The way she just talks and interacts with everyone else makes you think that she's the one manipulating everything.
Well, I mean,
Just-
like, even when she was, like,
does feel
being
that
nice to Soul a couple times, it's still like, God, that doesn't sound very nice.
Like, are you the actual evil one?
That's
So
what I was thinking. I was like, oh, this is gonna be some weird plot twist, ain't it? And you're just actually evil.
oh man.
That's the only vibe I got from all that. I'm not.
What is it? Fugitive. The fugitive scene? I guess we'll get to next.
Fugitive
the
scene.
fugitive
You ever see The Fugitive? Harrison Ford?
No.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. No.
Oh yeah.
So Osha, who's been probably stranded on an ice planet for fucking
God knows
hours,
how long.
sees a ship. Is under
away
first of all,
from-
she knows she's innocent. She didn't do anything wrong. right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
So-
then she still runs away.
She still runs away into the middle of fucking nowhere on an ice
And then
planet.
they find her like almost immediately too. By the way.
Yeah. And then they chase her through. Remember, guys, a Jedi only pulls their weapon unless they intend to kill. We skipped over that
Yeah,
part.
fucking Yord over here.
Yord uses it as a flashlight, so clearly that's not true. I reuse that clip all the time because they pull.
Well, not only that, but when like he caught her and brought her back up, he was like ready to swing on her. Did you see his stance?
Did you see the part where she looks at the cliff, knows there's a cliff there, and decides to still back up off the cliff?
Cliff, yeah. Like, oh my
God.
Just
So
so we
terrible.
know that, just in case you guys forgot that Jedi can use the Force, we had to show Soul using the Force.
It's like, I believe you. Okay, cool. Ah!
Yeah, Soul freaking 10 minutes before being, her sister can't be alive. I saw her die. Which we know later in episode 3 is definitely not true. He saw her fall down a pit.
Yeah, it was the whole, oh, no one could have survived a fall like that. And it's like,
Episode
in
3
your
is just-
entire
I-
universe, people have definitely survived worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, such as Endara getting stabbed with a tiny knife in her heart and just dying immediately.
Yep.
That, by the way, total bullshit. I wanted to go
Yeah.
back to that, but I got sidetracked. That knife is not long enough to do that.
Yeah.
We've also,
Like,
And
Most
even
of
if
it
it was not embedded anywhere near deep enough.
even if it,
Unless she's not actually human and her fucking skin is her heart.
yeah, also can point out the fact that she should have blocked it in the first fucking place.
Oh, can we also talk about the fact that apparently acolytes are not supposed to kill with weapons, but she's killing everybody with weapons?
A Jedi can't be killed with steel or blaster, gets killed by steel.
And blasters.
Well, I think her whole thing was she was like tasked with killing them, and she had to kill at least one of them without a weapon. Was the whole thing, right?
Which they never explain why that needs to be a thing. But just,
No, they don't.
You'd
just a
think,
Sith, man.
like,
We don't-
from
we don't
like a
talk
Sith
about it.
mentality, you'd think you could at least use, like the Force. Like, from like a Sith Jedi perspective, the Force is your primary weapon at all times. It is your most reliable ally and your most useful tool. So you'd think like a Sith be like, okay, I can at least kill people with the Force, right? But Ocean May fucking suck at using the Force.
Oh yeah.
May can
Which is also another thing that's fucking hilarious to me, because like you get to see all this crazy impressive shit that like other people did, and they were just like nothing
nothing
whatsoever.
May can barely manage a Force push, which is the only thing she's shown to do, and holding a butterfly in place like a psychopath. And then Osha has never used any form of telekinesis. She's only just now barely started to be able to sense things. So I'm curious how these are like Force beings, which we'll get into in episode 3.
Well, that's the thing too. He's like, oh, she hasn't trained in 6 years. Why is she all of a sudden being able to use the Force? Like, don't you lose your connection to the Force after a while if you just straight up don't connect yourself to it?
I would argue, sure, but like even when she's a kid, she's still nowhere near as good as her sister is.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, huh?
I'm first of all, I'm pretty sure you like flunk out of Jedi school if you can't even use telekinesis, right?
You would have thought. You would have thought.
But yeah,
No, she apparently left herself.
but May,
reason.
where I was getting at with this was how we see May get fucking floored by every single person she fights. Every person May fights, she gets her ass kicked.
Oh, yeah,
So the
we're
fact
gonna
that she
talk-
was
we're
able to
on
beat
episode
Indara
2
in the
now?
first place is asinine.
Are we talking about episode 2 where she tries to do
Oh.
a fucking kickflip onto the force field guy? Like
Well-
she's punching it, she can't hit the barrier. She's like hitting the barrier, and she's like, "Oh, I can't get through."
We'll hop into episode 2 here in a sec. We'll finish out on episode 1. So overall rating, we'll do this for each one. Overall rating of episode 1 out of 10.
Out
I'm
of
gonna give it
10?
Out of
Out
10,
of 10.
Yeah.
Can I give you a joking one that I would really like to say, and then I'll give a real answer?
Yeah, go for it.
Negative 35.
I'll give it.
But if we're giving it a little credit for some of the things that were okay, 2.
I would also say 2.
I was leaning towards 3.
Oh!
But now I'm probably gonna go down to 2. Honestly.
We missed the most controversial thing.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, the little
dear God.
campfire in space.
The little
Wait, what?
campfire in space.
Oh,
When she's outside the ship and like the
and
thing
then
blows.
There's a fire on the pressure valve.
Oh,
goes up
and then it's
yeah,
just like a
right,
little-
and it's just on fire with no oxygen.
Yeah, it's not billowing. It's not like an oxygen valve blew and there's actual fire being shot out in space. It's just a roaring campfire that is actually billowing in the non-existent wind.
Like here's the thing is if there's actually like pressurized fuel that's being sprayed out, I could understand, but it would have to be like the blue torch flame from like a butane torch, right? Like you wouldn't have actual fire burning. That's just not how the physics for that would work. But then again, it's also Star Wars and physics doesn't fucking matter anyways.
Well, I mean, like even like in the novels, they justify that when like a ship explodes, it's because there's a bunch of shit in the ship that explodes. You know, there's oxygen there. It just it explodes and then it dies out. But this was just a fucking like little campfire that's being billowing in the wind. You can see it crackling and flowing in the wind in space.
Yeah.
That's because they probably were just like, oh God, our team doesn't know how to do CGI. Let's do a practical effect.
Guys, we only have $180 million.
They're like, hey guys, we need a fire effect. Can you do that? And they were like, ooh, I don't know, man. We've really devoted all our time and effort to the fucking ship falling and the weird starfish parasite on the guy's mouth.
Can we talk about Pip though? The fucking little droid.
Oh,
That she has.
the Deus Ex
Like
Machina
multi-
you can fit in your fucking pocket.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ.
The literal Pip boy.
Yeah, why? Why do not people more use that? Why do people use actual like heavy astromech droids? Why don't they just use those for real? The thing can do anything.
The damn thing's a fucking Swiss Army knife of fucking sci-fi tools.
It can hack into ships. It can put out fires. It's a flashlight.
And if you want to tell me
It's a
that they're fucking
communicator.
rare or expensive, why the fuck does a Mechnik X Jedi have one then?
Right. Also, I
That
think,
is a weird-
yeah, like why do people even use astromechs? Those things are big.
Yeah, they're huge and they take up a whole bunch of space. I think the only thing is that they can operate pretty much fully autonomously, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
The droid.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Pip
Why
seems
does it
to be
even need to
pretty
be
autonomous on
Why
its
does
own.
it even need to be a droid if it has to be handheld? Like, what's the purpose of that? Why doesn't it just
It's so.
Because
so
somebody
device.
wanted a handheld friend at all times.
because merchandising?
merchandise.
That's
I was just about
exactly
to
what
say
it is, and we all
merchandise.
know
They
it.
are going to use
How
it
else
to
are we supposed to sell it if it's
merchandise.
not a droid?
All right.
Look at this little
Oh, yeah.
thing. You can have your own Pip in your pocket. Ha
Okay, so Matt, we didn't get your rating for episode 1.
Oh, it was gonna be originally 3, but I'm gonna bump that shit down to a 2.
Why were you gonna go with
Because-
3?
Well, because I did like the fight choreography, right?
Right. That's why it's
I
a
did,
2
I did
for me.
actually,
That's the only thing. The 2 points it got.
but the reason I'm bumping it back down is because of the point that, like, you know how earlier you talked about this is supposed to be a mystery show or whatever, and
Yeah.
all the mysteries are pretty much solved in the first fucking episode.
Yeah, we know who kills him. It's like
Oh,
Yeah.
someone's murdering Jedi. Yeah, we saw.
I do want to point out, so one of the things that threw me for a loop, I said there was one in episode 1, and it was the fact that she was a twin. Like, I put it together very quickly, but it was still one of the things that I just didn't expect from anything I had seen or heard of the show
Well,
up until that point.
It's a good thing you were kind of out of the loop because during the previews there was an instance where it showed they had subtitles on the YouTube trailer, and in the subtitles when Amanda Stenberg's talking, there's instances where it says
names.
it says show different names, so people already knew that they were twins. They revealed shit right away.
This should not have just.
I
this
feel like it was
shouldn't have been
supposed to be a mystery, but it wasn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, because like that threw me for just a second. Like I kept seeing this little kid in her visions and shit, and there was a part of my brain that's like, is it a split personality?
That would have been way more
That
interesting.
would have been way
honestly.
cooler, by the way.
Yeah, that would have been way more interesting.
Like
Yeah, I
she
mean-
had some dark side split personality inside of her.
Especially since like Leslie Helen talks about like how much she likes Fight Club. They just steal a bunch of shit from other movies and put it in the show. I just want to point that out.
Oh yeah.
They had like the Fight Club dynamic where it makes you think that maybe she's not, maybe she is the one who kills people. You know, they have the Fugitive they rip off of where she's running away down a tunnel. They do
The whole thing is dumb.
They're about to do the Parent Trap in episode 6.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's a whole other fucking thing, but we'll talk about that when we get to episode 6.
Right. All right.
5.
So we're done with episode 1. We're on episode 2 now.
Oh my god.
With Jedi Master Torben. First of all, I already said when we see the flashback where we see what the Jedi do, which I am going to go ahead and guess that they just killed all the witches. An altercation must have come out at some point. I swear to God, if I don't hear Torben yell, it's Torben time. Done. If Torben yells, it's Torben time. I'm giving this show 5 points.
I will admit, something that threw me off at first, I couldn't tell if it was just the quality of the recording or something, but his fucking elongated pupil in the one eye.
Oh, no. He looks freaking stupid.
Me.
He looks ridiculous.
But so like here's the thing, right? You get that weird elongated pupil in on that one eye that he has the scar over, but the first time he opened his eye in the fucking recording that we were watching, it was pixelated enough that I thought it was like artifacting. Like I didn't think that's really what it was.
No,
and then a little bit later I saw it again clear as day and I was like, "Oh, what?"
No, he looks awful.
He does.
And jumping ahead just a little bit to because I want to throw this out there. 16 years ago, he was a Padawan.
Oh yeah, I talked about that one in my video. We will definitely get into that probably during episode 3.
And somehow 16 years later, when May's trying to fucking kill him, he just happens to have a completely impenetrable force barrier.
He's also a Jedi Master. Keep that one in mind.
In 16 years.
Not even in 16 years. He's been in that little he's been in the Barosh vow for fucking 10 years. So he became a master in 6 years. Yes.
What?
Physically impossible, because to become a master, you have to train a Padawan. That's part of the rules. You have to train a Padawan into knighthood to become a master. So he physically cannot be a Jedi Master.
So I'm just throwing a real big bone out here for the fucking plot hole. What if they were like, damn, he's been locked away for like 3 years solid in this fucking force bubble that none of us can get through. We might as well just call him a master.
That
sure
would actually make sense.
Why not?
Like the biggest of all bones you can throw, right?
You know what makes about as much sense as anything else in this fucking show.
Yeah. Jesus.
So May comes down sneaks in through the front door, by the way.
Yeah,
no one
the little
noticed.
kid was like, "Hello, droid."
Why did she even need to hire that kid in the first place? She just threw the hacking device on the head, which was already exposed.
Yeah, no, you know what gets me is that they knew about the break-in as soon as she was punching the barrier.
Right.
Too. Like, I'm sorry, what?
No. So the Jedi Master, who doesn't have a name, who we see later, talked about how someone notified him that probably the girl that walked by her and didn't say anything, just decided to not stop this person, just say, "Hey, I'm going to go tell my master someone."
Like, oh god, there's a random scary person in here. I got to tell an adult.
Yeah, didn't stop them at all, because they're definitely not a clearly trained Jedi. Didn't bother to try to stop the intruder.
Nope.
Punches the
Why
barrier.
would you try to stop an intruder that you don't know who they are?
Right, or at least question and be like, "Hey, you don't look familiar." And
I
apparently,
haven't seen you around here before. You new?
Yeah, they know everyone in town, apparently. At least they know the apothecary.
Oh yeah, that's not our normal
It's not
guy.
our normal guy. But so yeah, May punches the barrier, kicks the barrier, tries to stab the barrier, decides to do parkour into the barrier.
Yeah. Oh
That
my
shit
god.
was so fucking stupid.
I tell you what, that made me laugh so hard.
That was so damn funny.
Oh god.
Oh, by the way, this might be a little bit of a leak into later shit, I guess.
Fight me with all your strength.
When the fucking apothecary was just like, he's gonna be mad. I'm just like, how do you know so much about this dude that supposedly trained her but doesn't show himself to fucking anyone?
Because they're obvious.
Yeah, dude, they made it so stupidly obvious what was going on there.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that one.
Oh.
So
And it's just like, oh my god, none of us who are even remotely related to this already know the fucking reveal.
yeah. So remember what later in the episode when Torben says, "I've been waiting for you, May," and then goes out of his trance to off himself and drink the poison. Why didn't he do that the first time she showed up?
Probably because, that is dumb too. That is dumb. Maybe he didn't want to be stabbed, and the poison he thought was going to be like less painful or something.
I guess maybe that's the reason.
Or wait a minute. Did she even have the poison for the first time?
No, she did not.
She went and got it specifically made because she could not get through his barrier.
Fucking
He
following that
like,
line of
oh,
logic somehow. Can we
Well,
talk
then
about
she's
that
then she
genius
guilt
line
trips
of
him into
logic?
killing himself, right? Am I wrong?
Do what?
Like she's like, I know what you did, and I know you live with the guilt or whatever, and that's what like ultimately makes him fucking kill himself or
Yeah.
whatever.
I honestly wonder if it wasn't that like she talked to him, because the first time she didn't really talk to him at all. She
straight
just
up
said,
was like,
"I'm here
gonna
to kill you."
I'm still waiting for that reveal to see what he did that was so horrible that he decided to just shuffle off this mortal coil.
Speaking of what was so horrible that they did, right? It's all her fault anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that, because
Oh, yeah,
that's a
we'll
whole
get into
other
that.
thing that threw me for a fucking loop.
Yeah.
And why
Yeah.
I agree with you that episode 3 is the dumbest, most horrible one of the episodes so far.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that, but I
feel like
I
episode
think
3 was a fucking retcon.
this, first of all, I hate the second episode more than the first so much, just because Torben offing himself is the most un-Jedi thing I could ever think of.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like Jedi go into exile or try to redeem themselves in some way by doing more good, right? You don't. This is written by a bunch of people who don't understand shit.
Star Wars.
Yeah, like
hilarious.
Yoda went to exile because he knew he would be needed in the future. That's why he went to exile. He's like, okay, I have to take responsibility for my failure, but I can't just stop. So if
The only thing I can think of is that his being locked in that fucking unresponsive state was his quote unquote exile. But like
Okay.
the coming out of it specifically to kill himself for her sake is just the dumbest thing in the world.
right? Yeah. How
And-
are you gonna do any more good in your life? That's a good, I guess, since he aged like 40 years in 10 years. That's like a good another 20 years of good that you can't do now. Congratulations.
And then and so then you have the thing where it's just like the good old apothecary man was just like, oh no, they're people too, they harbor darkness and secrets, they just really good at hiding it. It's like, that's a cop out.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I see you.
That
let
was
your,
trying
I see
to
you let
prep
your,
you for something stupid to happen.
I see you let your edgy 7th grader write the dialogue.
Yep. Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
So yeah, that fails, and she decides to go visit the apothecary. And then, well, I think we're on the ship at this point. I could pull up the episode and we can run through.
Yeah, we're on the ship at that point.
So
I think we were.
that's where we get the whole I was in corpsec thing, which I was annoyed about.
Oh yeah, looking at the tattoo, what, you don't like it?
You know,
Got it while I was in corpsec.
do you know why they did that?
Why?
I guarantee the reason they did that was for the Parent Trap episode that we're getting next.
Oh my god.
Oh, for
it's
the
gonna
tattoo.
It's gonna be how Soul knows that May isn't OSHA.
I have words on the Parent Trap idea thing too, but I will save them.
But also, did we point out that she was trying to hook Pip up to the ship? Right?
Oh yeah, she was.
We're
He's like, why are you doing this?
she's still technically under suspicion. Like, just because she says her sister's alive.
I think the only thing they're like is like, well, Master Soul seems to believe in you,
So
so
let's
we're
just-
just gonna go with that.
Let's just
Well, I
let
mean-
her completely hack into our ship. What the actual fuck?
Well, you know what the funny thing is like, do Jedi Masters have like hierarchy in terms of that?
You'd
Or
think
no.
they should. Also, can we
Well,
talk
yeah,
about
they should, but
how
do they?
how Soul's Padawan Jeki constantly talks back to Yor despite the fact that he completely outranks her?
Yes.
She's so rude to
God.
him, and I said that in my video. I'm like, you're a fucking Padawan. Stop talking to him like that.
Like, he's a
Oh,
Jedi
but she has to
Knight.
be the strong, independent girl now.
She's a strong woman.
She's the logical straight man.
I mean, like, and being, snarky and whatnot, that's, there's a pretty constant history of,
Oh yeah,
Jedi being snarky.
I'm
but
fine with her
like,
being snarky. I'm annoyed with her being disrespectful.
I mean, to be
He
fair,
did make
Yord's
Jedi
kind of a
Knight. We gotta give him credit.
dipshit.
Again,
But
but
he did make
that
the
being
Jedi Knight.
said, like later in this episode, the plan that Yord talks about, where we surround the perimeter and we go in and arrest him.
Oh, yeah, it ended up being the
Or-
one that got it.
Yeah,
But
that's the
so-
plan they end up using.
And then there's the fact that he was somehow the only one. Again, she's a suspected fugitive, and they just ignored her walking through this. She was at the back of the group. She decides to stop and turn and go follow her fucking schizophrenic little sister.
Oh, right,
And
right.
Yord is the only one that went, I should probably do something about that.
Oh right, yeah. I guess we're getting back to the Jedi Temple with Jedi. What was it? Jediabetes. What the community started calling. I like calling him the
yeah.
Fadawan. That's what I like calling him. That's my name for him.
Oh my god.
'Cause-
Oh,
Jedi, body positive Jedi. First of all, how?
I mean, like,
I'm
that's
curious
fine and
how
all,
that
but,
even
like, God
happens.
damn it.
No, I'm curious how that even happens.
Yeah, like, bro.
How?
Don't you have to
Again,
do flips
totally
and shit?
fine.
I don't
You know
know.
what?
There's some Buddhist monks that get pretty big too.
Maybe fair point. I'll concede that. He is my favorite character in that episode anyway, so totally fine with that. But yeah, they let them in, and as they're for some reason they're escorting the group to Torben, and
And they take the least direct route.
right. So she
That
she
was another thing. I was like, how did they get there? How did she get there first?
she got there so far ahead of them.
So far ahead of them.
Like, long
and they
enough
were
for-
like, it's you. Put your hands up. And he comes out and he's like, she didn't do it. And I'm like, and you took until now to step out of the doorway?
That's
say
the
that?
part where I
Like, bro.
thought that when they initially shot the show, they were trying to go for the she might still be the killer thing. Right? Like, I feel like when
Yeah.
they initially shot that, they didn't have earlier scenes where you know for a fact that it was May who did it, and they wanted you to think that Osha was still suspicious. But they left that part in, even though it's completely pointless.
Incredibly pointless.
Okay,
Stupidly
and also, let's
pointless.
not
The
talk
fact
about
that
the
May
fact
decided to
that,
leave the poison behind.
Well, yeah, no, just leave the fucking little canister
That used an herb that only you would know about.
on your home planet.
Yeah, your home
And-
planet.
Her gloves are fingerless, right?
Right, yeah. I don't know. I don't
So
know
it's like,
I don't know
oh,
if fingerprints
hey.
are a thing in the Star Wars universe. I mean, it's a large universe. Maybe fingerprints aren't a thing. But still.
Even with all of that, again, and this is jumping forward a little bit, we have a person who tracks through scent.
Oh yeah.
So there's definitely a scent on the fucking bottle.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, her plan was to convince him to be so sad that he ends himself, and it fucking
And it fucking
works.
worked. It
She also,
worked.
she also snuck in through the skylight.
Which she could have just done the first time.
Why did no one, I don't know, move him? I guess maybe they can't because of the force barrier, but why was there not a security detail?
I mean, I guess when you have a force barrier that strong, it's probably highly unlikely that anything would happen to the guy, right?
Even still,
That's probably what they were thinking about.
you think they'd at least put someone on watch, like someone
Or
attempted.
tighten up the security or something so you get like an alert that, hey, someone broke in the other day and now someone broke in again.
Lock the goddamn window at least.
Put a fucking sensor on it.
Oh man. So yeah, they decided to send Osha in to impersonate the sister that she hasn't seen in fucking 16 years.
Who at this point I don't think she's actually seen yet, right?
Yeah, she hasn't
So
actually
even
seen...
she's just like I know she's alive, but it's like, and so all you're gonna do is wrap yourself in a cloak and be like, is this how the hood should be pulled?
Yeah,
Is
because
this where the hood is gonna go?
Well,
is this the right material for the hood?
yeah, because they're going off the little kid's description of it was her. She was wearing a hood, but it was definitely her.
But it was the hood.
Right, so
Oh
they're
my
like, okay,
God.
well, if I put on a hood, then I'll look like her. But are you gonna act like her and talk like her and know the information? Because like that's how you do.
Yeah, and her
impersonation.
entire interaction with the apothecary guy. Oh my God.
Like
The
I'm,
hey.
I'm
Hi.
definitely not a
Hello.
person who knows who you are. Like, dumb.
And you
stupid.
know for a fact now he knew immediately that
Yeah.
it wasn't her.
Yeah, that was Jackie's plan. That was Jackie's plan, by the way. So that you
And
can't.
Soul agreed with it though.
Yeah.
Like Soul was just like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's throw her at this.
And then after the plan fails, so they all have to rush in.
Which was what fucking Yord's plan was in the first place.
Right. So like I said, he's the one who always puts forth like the plan that makes sense, and then people tell him no, and then they end up doing his plan anyway, which I think is poor Yord. I feel bad for him sometimes.
I do too, but I also think the fucking ironing your robes shirtless in the middle of the fucking
doesn't
common
help your
area
case
on the
at
ship
all,
was
yeah.
Oh yeah.
dumb
While
idea.
we're here, we're 45 minutes in, so I can point out that the only time anything in the show moves forward, at least for the first 4 episodes, is someone doing something stupid.
Oh, absolutely.
This is like a consistent thing, specifically in like Disney shows, when the only way plot moves forward is if people are incompetent.
That's because if everybody was competent, nothing interesting would happen, right?
There are ways to do it though. Like
No, I know. I'm trying to be entirely ironic
you're
on
right.
that
There are
because
plenty
it's fucking
of-
stupid.
there, like even in Ahsoka, you know, Thrawn pretends like everyone being competent was part of the plan.
I still
You guys dodged the
refuse
bullet.
to
I'm probably
watch
gonna have
that
to end up
show.
doing a video revisiting Ahsoka. I hate that show.
Oh boy.
But so yeah, they interrogate Chimere. Which, first of all, tell us what you know and we might let you off with a warning. Fucking what?
Yeah, that whole thing was
You're-
so
He's an accomplice to murder.
Yeah, bro.
He just helped the person kill a Jedi Master who has already killed another Jedi Master. So this guy's clearly an accomplice in at least 1 murder, at most 2.
Because what you're saying right there is that the Jedi are either okay with lying to people to get what they want, or they were legitimately going to forgive this dude if he ratted out
Right.
the person.
And then
It's like neither of those are okay.
And then even after he spills his guts, I guess, though they were serious, they let him off with a warning. They just had friggin' Fadawan watch the store instead of actually fucking arresting him.
Oh yeah, and then he just fucking leaves, and good old Fadawan just goes, "He's gone."
Even though he didn't-
long after he's been gone
Yeah,
for
he
a
didn't,
while.
No, he didn't even move. That's the thing. He lost sight of him when he didn't even move. So, yeah, and funny enough, the rest of the show wouldn't have happened if they actually did arrest him.
Right.
Or he would have broken out because, you know, he's the Sith.
Gotta move the plot somehow.
But,
Spoilers for episodes ahead of where we're at.
oh, by this point in time, I'm hoping
That people have critical thinking and can put
oh
together
yeah,
what
the
we've been
obvious
hinting at
answer.
the whole time.
The obvious answer for real. Why don't you guys continue for a sec? I'm gonna grab a drink real quick and I'll be right back. My throat's getting a little dry.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Fadawan is potentially the greatest name I've ever fucking heard, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, I was
Especially
trying
when
to
he's
think
just-
of something more, like, funny, and I could not. Fadawan.
Fadawan, that's so
Alright.
great.
I'm back. So, they attempt to arrest of May. I think is the next part.
The arrest of me.
Who knows? At this point, the whole show is just kind of a blur of the same stupid shit.
For real.
Yeah, it's like the same thing happens 40,000 fucking times.
So Yord, who clearly has the worst vision of any Jedi in the Order, has to use macro binoculars to see shit that's like 6 feet in front of him.
Oh yeah, literally like, I'm watching the street and I can't see somebody in a cloak. I guess maybe it was literally just to make sure that he saw a face in the cloak that matched the description.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him using them to scan the rest of the city, but when May and Soul start fighting, he's still using the binoculars and they're like 12 feet away from him. It's like right up there. In fact, he's so...
Oh yeah, he's just standing up there and he's just like, you're under arrest!
Yeah, also not helping at all.
Which episode
Doing
was that?
literally
That's
nothing.
still 2, right?
Yeah, we're still on 2.
That's still
Jesus
2.
fucking Christ, I
When
forgot.
when Soul fights May
God.
and completely fucking whoops her. Just once again,
Just kicks the shit out of her.
right, like again, this is a thing that I've consistently wrong with the show. The Jedi are under the assumption
What the
that
fuck? Hang on, my doorbell's going off. I don't know
I
why.
thought that was the pipe falling noise. All right. Well, so under the assumption that Jedi have to follow the fact that diminishing the threat to everyone around you would take priority, right? Especially someone who is currently under suspicion of killing a Jedi Master. 2 at this point.
Yep.
Chop off a fucking leg. This is a universe where prosthetic limbs exist. Right? And they're
And are readily available. By the way.
readily available. Jedi have a weapon and they are taught their first form of combat is to disarm people by cutting off limbs because we live in a world where prosthetic limbs are a thing. Especially if they're very dangerous criminals who can kill anyone.
Extremely easily, by the way.
I get annoyed that people decide to use kung fu to subdue people. Very ineffective kung fu, mind you. Instead of their fucking lightsaber. Like, you know what, May? I'm sorry that these things happen to you. You're gonna have to lose a foot because you keep killing people. Sorry, not sorry.
Like, seriously, you gotta stop.
If nothing else, the thought of losing one of your limbs would be a very good deterrent.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other use of a lightsaber, is when that bitch gets pulled out, people stop fighting because they don't want to get hit by it. All of that, like, first of all, that could have been avoided. Master and Dara could have avoided dying. Soul could have avoided May getting away if they just used their lightsabers.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess whatever it was important. So I want to wait for Zay to get back before we move on to that point. Have I missed anything? Is there anything else that you've noticed?
Not that I really noticed because, like,
Oh, I know something that we missed that I didn't get to point out.
what was that?
What happened to Yord's Padawan?
During episode 2?
Yeah. She shows up in that one scene in episode 1 and then never shows up again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
At least on the episode 2 mission, because Soul thought it was a good idea to bring his Padawan. So why didn't Yord bring his?
That is a very good question.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because they don't want... I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Well, we can take a break here.
Maybe Yord's Padawan wasn't fucking marketable enough.
We can take a break here. And I still have my YouTube page pulled up. That's not wrong. Boop. We're going to tell you to look at the Rotten Tomatoes page because I like to run an experiment with you.
Oh, please do.
So, it actually bumped up because it was at 13 before episode 6 or episode 5 came out. So it bumped up 1%. I think its critic score actually bumped up too.
Well, of course the critic score is going to bump up.
Oh, yeah.
Disney's paying them.
For real. But it's
Hey,
down
let's not beat around that fucking
it's
bush.
down to 14% in the audience score. So, Matt, you as a normal consumer, why do you think this score is so low?
Because it makes sense. This show is awful.
Now, see,
no
that's
one
where you're
really
wrong,
likes
my
it.
friend. It's because of racism. And you should know that.
It's because of racism. Yeah, that explains why there's so many different races in the show.
Man, I should send that guy to that fucking Jedi temple. He was selling security systems.
Well, we were talking about one of my major concerns with this show is the fact that the Jedi never use their lightsabers, despite the fact that they absolutely should.
Yeah, every time you see him turn it on, it's literally like, oh, this
They're
is
dying.
literally the last moment we could have.
Right? So
no, like they're literally dying. By the
we're
way.
in a
Every time they
universe,
turn those
like,
lightsabers on.
the way the Jedi operate, you're in a universe where prosthetic limbs are a thing, and they're readily available. And the Jedi are taught their first form of combat, their first form of lightsaber combat is to disarm people in specific areas. Like, vital limbs to stop them from killing people. Right? And even if you want to avoid dismembering someone, you whip out the lightsaber because it's a deterrent, because people don't want to be dismembered.
Yeah.
So this whole using kung fu to subdue people, which doesn't work, as we saw with Master Indara, she just kept getting up. Your kung fu wasn't working. I'm sorry, May, you're a danger to people. You're losing a foot. I'm sorry.
I will
Would've
admit
ended up
the
fucking shit so
the
fast,
once
too.
again, it's one of the moments where the choreography for those fight scenes is fucking that's the only thing that's like immaculate on these shows.
It's cool, but again,
And I'm sure somebody who actually is into martial arts like that would have a bunch of bones to pick with it too. But like, I don't know, it's been the one thing that's been enjoyable.
right. So that was one of my major complaints is it happens at least 4 separate times where a Jedi is battling someone who is a danger to them or other people, and they don't bust out the lightsaber, their primary weapon.
Yeah, they just kind of go.
All right.
I could take him.
What we were currently talking about while you were away is you see this brilliant Rotten Tomatoes score. The audience score actually went up. It was at 13 before episode 5 came out, so a couple people bumped it.
They're like, oh, you know what? I fuck with the new episode. It was cool.
Zay, why do you think this score is what it is?
Because anybody who gives a shit about the actual Star Wars universe knows that it's horribly written and just not how the universe should work.
Oh, Zay, you stupid bitch. It's racism. That's why it's so low.
Ah, yeah, God, how could I forget that the one fucking character that's black and
Every single critique I've had of this show,
Jesus.
I have not once talked about. I don't care what the race of
The
any of them
Why would
is.
they
whitewash it?
Well,
It's
why?
like,
I don't care.
hmm.
In fact, my favorite
It's-
character now is the Asian guy. Where's he Latino? I'm not sure.
Soul?
No, Chimera.
Oh, Chimera.
Oh.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
He's a chimera.
He's my favorite character now, so clearly that's not it. Anyway, I like to play a game.
He has been like the one good character.
I like to
For a
play a
minute.
game. So the mainstream, the access media, their reasoning for it is because people review bomb it, right?
Sure.
Then the way that they would define a review bomb is people who give it like 1 star and 1 sentence going, "This show sucks" or something, right?
Uh-huh.
So I like to play a game with you guys. So like, here's one right here.
Called
Here's a,
Spot the Review Bomb.
yeah, here's a 1.5 star. Not a whole lot. Too many holes in the story. Main story point, in my opinion, weakens the original canon of Anakin. I don't know about storyline. Person disappointed. People would argue this is a review bomb because I bet if I go on this guy's thing, look at this is the only show he's ever rated, right? So you would think if it's the only show they've ever rated, this is probably a review bomb. Cool. Let's try this one. This 5-star review. Oh, look at that. Only 1 rating.
Also the only show.
And also, he also watched Evil, which I don't even know if that was a show. But so yeah, clearly, people aren't just negative review bombing it. People are also positive review bombing it. So by the law of large numbers, since this show is at 25,000 reviews, which is actually fucking a lot, goddamn. by that logic, more people are negatively review bombing it than positively review bombing it. So I would go ahead and go to the assumption that it just fucking sucks.
Seems logical.
So yeah, that's a fun game I like to play on Rotten Tomatoes. This one's in Spanish.
See.
Actually, hold on, can I translate this real quick? Here we go. It's the worst of the worst. How they come up with the idea of putting incompetent Jedi as if they were mules.
Doesn't even know
What
if
a
he
big
sits or
bullshit.
not.
I love Google Translate. What a big bullshit.
What a big bullshit.
Oh man, that's what
Agreed.
Gerard Daniel is also. Oh, look at this! Look at this guy. He's clearly a real person. Look at this shit. He did Ahsoka, which he gave 3 stars to Ahsoka. Pretty impressive. 4.5 to Death Note.
F is for family.
F is for family. So this guy's clearly not a review bomber. He's actually reviewed several shows. He actually gave a 3-star to Ahsoka, which I would have given a 1-star. So you know what?
Hodge and Demi-Humans in there too.
I'm gonna
That's
go
a
on a
good
limb and say that Gerardo Daniel W is a legit person. Oh, there's
Not a
one.
bot.
Oh, this one right here. I saw this one earlier today while I was playing my game. While I was testing this game. This guy's a 5-star reviewer, right? Also, only done the Ahsoka or the Acolyte.
Acolyte.
You must truly love the craft of storytelling in order to appreciate what Miss Leslie Headland. First of all, it's Mrs. Leslie Headland. She's married, asshole. And her outstanding respect. She put her wife in the show. And her outstanding cast have done with regard to injecting some much needed life into a franchise that has been far too comfortable atrophying in its own nostalgia. So this guy clearly understands that Star Wars is shit right now, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Those viewers who were patient were rewarded with a narrative in the form of episode 5 of the series that finally focuses on something other than the Clone Wars, the troubled Skywalker lineage, the ultimate familiar face and droids that we've gone blah, 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 blah. This space opera to focus on something new, something that expands and departs from the world that George Lucas originally envisioned. The fact that so-called fans continually resist such efforts says more about them than it does about the excellent talents that are working diligently. So it's your fault, guys.
Ah, yes. Let's just dodge blame.
And what's
say
even
that
more,
it's
this
people.
motherfucker decides to sign it. Dr. Samuel P. Fitzpatrick, PhD. That automatically makes me...
PhD in what?
It's
Yeah.
friggin' interpretive dance. I don't know. That
PhDs
first of all,
are so fucking pointless.
yeah, that's why I said that automatically makes me
for.
think you're just a fucking idiot.
Well,
don't
like, here's
believe
the
anything
thing,
you
right?
say.
Being a PhD, you have to be smart. You have to be very motivated.
No.
However, the stuff that you are knowledgeable about to get a PhD is so hyper focused on what you're on that it's literally just not applicable to basically anything else.
First of all, a PhD doesn't prove that you're smart. A PhD proves that you show up, do things on time, and listen to what people tell you. That's what a PhD means. That's
Well,
all
I mean,
school
you still
is.
have to write your own thesis. Like, you
Sure.
have to put effort in. There has to be some baseline of knowledge. I'm just saying, like, there is some semblance of intelligence somewhere.
Clearly, it's not in Star Wars. All right.
No, God, no. God, no.
All right. Well,
No one ever said
Let's get
that.
back
we'll
on
pop
track
out of
here
here.
for
We'll
a
get
minute.
back to what we were talking about. All right. We were in the middle of episode 2. People don't use lightsabers. Yord is watching a fight that's 12 feet away through macro binoculars.
Gotta love it.
Jackie pulls up in a ship. Says you're under arrest. Oh, first of all, yeah, we've established that Yord can just straight fucking read minds now. Or not Yord.
Wonderful.
Soul. Soul can just read minds.
Oh,
Even though
yeah.
he used a mind trick to fucking make that one guy tell the truth.
So Disney's written themselves into a corner with this because they did it with Reva in Kenobi, where she could just rip people's thoughts out of their head and just do that. Once you've made that a force power, you kind of write yourself into a corner all the time.
Yeah, because then you could just know everything.
Because
You
the
just take
original
information
thought
you
is they can sense base emotions or like surface level thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're going out on a limb that Soul's asking her the questions to make it her base level thought. But considering the fact she's being trained by a Sith, she would be able to, like repel it or show any form of resistance. Because arguably,
So are we on episode 3 then?
I guess we're about to move on to episode 3. Oh, we got to finish with episode 2. What's your rating for episode 2?
Episode 2?
That's a 1 for me. I'm gonna say it right now.
Oh no, we missed a couple things. First of all, we talk about how she gets the drop on Kymir and he just completely overpowers her. The fact that she runs away. They let Kymir get away, so they didn't arrest him, which they definitely should have because he's an accomplice.
And they know he is, by the way.
And they're literally investigating a mysterious involved person, and there happens to be a mysterious involved person.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, nah, he's just an alchemist.
He's just an apothecary.
He just makes
there's one
medicine.
important thing I was about to bring up that I kind of forgot about. Shit. We get to see Kelnaka, the Wookiee Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Ah, would have been so cool. Can't wait to see him do shit.
Isn't that see, that's episode like 4.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's episode 4. Sure, we'll go with that. Technically, he's
I
in
mean,
episode
like,
3.
we
Fixes a bike.
know about him in episode 3.
And he fixes a bike. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's right. Episode 3 was
Oh.
a flashback.
So yeah, she talks about, he's like, what the hell is what was it, Kofar? That's the name of the planet? He's like, it's a relaxing forest retreat. Who the fuck talks like that? They're like in the middle of like a deadlock where they're like fighting. Like they're like struggling against each other. And he's like, it's a relaxing forest retreat. You guys are gonna love it.
Obviously,
they have a
somebody who
family
has
plan,
fucking
man.
stock in that fucking planet.
Yeah, he's like, he's trying. He's secretly part of like a real estate operation where they're trying to develop the place, so they're trying to get backers. It's a
Listen, guys, you have to go. It's
a
really
relaxing
relaxing.
forest
I swear to
retreat.
God.
Okay,
If
yeah,
you don't go,
we'll move on to episode 3. But first, what's your rating for
the
episode 2?
rating.
For me, it's 1. That's a 1. I hate that
I already
episode.
said.
Yeah.
If nothing, because of Torben off and himself. That made me so upset.
No, it's for sure
Yeah, that shit
one
annoyed
at
the fuck out of
best.
me.
Oh no, I forgot because I can't rate it lower than I rate episode 3, and I can't rate it the same that I rated episode 3. So I'm going to have to stick with 2.
No. Yeah, I would still say 1.
Okay, you're right. You're right. You're right. That's a 1.
For sure, still say 1.
Okay. What did you say, Matt? I didn't hear you.
I said 1.
Okay. I think we're at a consensus with 2 for episode 1 and 1 for episode 2.
Oh yeah.
All right. On to the creme de la creme of episode 3.
Oh, fucking
Fucking
boy.
So first of all,
and foremost, the juxtaposition of like the one tree being super yellow to everything else being green, that was kind of a cool visual thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I thought that was
actually-
entertaining and
I
interesting.
actually did like the visual of that tree. That's it. I
yeah,
feel like that
pretty
might
much.
have been a majority of the budget going to that tree.
Guys, we made this one yellow tree. Isn't it super cool?
The one thing I ask myself during the show a lot is like, where the fuck did all the money go? Money
not
laundering.
to there.
Money laundering. That's what it is.
Yeah, drugs. 100%
Drugs.
to the drugs.
Drugs.
Can we talk about how obviously, clearly evil May is?
Bro,
Oh,
it's, like,
yeah.
scary,
No,
to
like
think about,
immediately upon seeing a butterfly, she was just like,
Yeah, she's clearly a sociopath. There's no
Like, that's not
question
even a
about
question.
that she's the evil one.
and fucking, and her sister's just like, stop it! You know I don't like it when you do that!
Also,
Yeah, it's kind of the point, sis.
it's funny because we were talking about it before how we wouldn't talk about race, but we talk about how racist they are. Because like Amanda Stenberg plays both characters for May and Osha. They couldn't get two girls that kind of look alike.
I don't know,
In any
the
way?
two young versions of them were definitely different people.
Oh, well, clearly, but they couldn't get like actual twins because they don't look alike, like at all.
No, fuck no, they don't.
They're like, wow. I was like, wow, I didn't realize that team was really, really racist because I guess they're just like, close enough.
Or maybe they just couldn't find any kids that were willing to participate in this shit.
Well, they didn't cast most of the people. They didn't have any auditions for most of the roles. At least I know that Amanda Stenberg did an audition. Leslie Headland came up to her and be like, "You're the person I want to play for this." And then, yeah, when she showed the concept art to Amanda Stenberg, it was her. They already modeled everything after her. So I'm like,
That's so ridiculous. Like, how do you even say no to that at that point in a professional industry?
I don't know.
You don't, because then it would be the end of your career.
Oh,
yeah,
this
like
is
that's literally backing someone into a corner.
this is actually a funny story now that I think about it. Yeah. So, hold on, keep talking real quick. I need to look something up.
The children are always creepy in movies like this. Why is the children always creepy?
You'd think at this point in time, people could actually train child actors, because at this point, there's no real excuse for child actors being bad. We've had the Stranger Things.
Yeah, no
We've had
shit.
Stranger Things. The bad child acting is inexcusable at this point.
Yeah. I mean, why are they even actors at this point?
Nepotism.
Yep. Like, they're just children. They should just be children extras at this point.
Oh god, and that whole thing that they were like at the tree and like, you're not supposed to be here. And it was just like, what the fuck does that mean?
Okay, can you guys see this screen?
Yes.
Hold on one second. Let me check.
CAA.
Oh boy, what in the fucking world is this?
So, first of all, Leslie Headland has signed on new agents. So, fresh off of her success of her Star Wars series, The Acolyte, that right there tells you everything you need to know.
What a wonderful headline.
And this has found new agents as she has signed with CAA for us. So she got a new hiring agent. Do you guys know of anyone who would hire? Oh, I didn't even. There we go. I'm gonna actually save the screen here. So yeah, do you guys know? I'm pretty sure you would keep your current agents if you're doing good, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Why would you hire new agents after what's apparently a success?
Because you think you're doing better. I don't know. It's fucking stupid.
Either
And they
that or
also use this
lost all
line
the
here. The
funding.
Acolyte reached 4.8 million views in its first 0.8 day of streaming. That's counting both episodes, by the way. Because first of all, since Disney Plus doesn't really release their data, this is what we have to go off of. They didn't say for the first episode. That's the first 2 episodes, which is only slightly more than Ahsoka's first episode.
Oh, fantastic.
So reasonably, they've only had 2.4 million views per episode.
Can we, I don't mean to interrupt or derail this conversation, but can we go to, the last line down there? Her additional television credits?
Include
Why
terriers,
the-
Heather's single drunk female, and dying for sex.
If that's the fucking title of one of your shows, you just might as well just go fire yourself at this point.
Well, I mean, hey, do you have any idea who this is? This is former
No,
Harvey
I really
Weinstein
don't.
personal assistant Leslie Headland.
No, I literally do not know.
Do you have any idea how many actresses she delivered to Harvey Weinstein? Allegedly.
Jesus, that's
Allegedly.
horrendous. That's a horrendous thing to think about.
Yep, you only fail upwards in Hollywood.
Well, because you can't fail downwards, otherwise you get silenced.
Or as the industry has or not the industry, as a few YouTube critics have dubbed, too ugly to assault Leslie Headland.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah, I was like, damn, why she look like fucking she's got
Alright.
the box chin and everything going
What
on there.
the fuck? That's so bad.
Well,
It's true though. That's the worst part.
she didn't know anything, guys.
It's true.
She definitely didn't know anything that was going on.
Oh.
She was totally
Oh my
innocent.
god.
Totally.
She's also
honest.
really creepy. I don't know if you guys have seen the interviews where she's with Amanda Stenberg. There's the clip where the guy's like, so this is what people are saying is the gayest Star Wars. And then she laughs and then just caresses Amanda Stenberg's arm as she's laughing. She's pretty creepy, not gonna lie. Starting to wonder why. Now I know why she works at Disney.
Yep.
Anyway, episode three. Episode 3.
Oh boy. That was like that just started off like episode 3 was just a slog to like painfully deal with.
Episode 3 is arguably the worst episode.
Oh,
Like,
not
it's-
even
like-
arguably.
So
What
let's
do you
talk-
mean arguably?
Let's talk about how awful
It just is.
how awful this witch coven is.
Yeah.
My question
No.
is,
It's pretty fucking bad.
so we can talk about how poorly they treat the kids. First of all, just one point you're spoiling them rotten, so they snuck out of the coven, which they weren't supposed to do. So you decided to reward them with sweet treats.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
right.
that lady's a terrible mom.
I was like,
Oh,
you broke my
incredibly.
rule. You broke my rule. Here, have some dessert.
Have some
That
dessert.
being said, there are legitimately parents that are like that.
Now-
so-
Yeah.
when they were first leaked about how the third episode was going to dramatically change the Force, that was what they said. I now
Were they
understand.
talking the stupid fucking song?
No, about the thread.
No,
The
because
thread.
remember when they had the thing and they were talking of like there was that song,
The power of one, the power
the
of two,
power
the
of
power of
one,
many.
the power of two, the power of many,
Oh,
many, the power of
many.
one, the power of two, the power of many.
Oh, people have been fucking tearing that apart.
And rightly so. It's fucking horrible. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's straight up awful.
I have another funny
I
thing.
could not. I was literally just like, I'm just gonna close my ears and.
Here we
not
go.
listen to this
I've got
anymore.
one here. Let's see if you guys
Oh no.
can you see this one? Can you see Vader?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Baby.
All right. Can you hear it?
You do not yet
Okay.
realize your importance. You have only begun to discover your power. Join me, and I will complete your training. I'll never join you!
If you only knew the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Now, ascend, my
God.
Shout out to Jar Jar Studios, man. I fucking love that video.
Oh my god, that was
Oh,
fucking
man.
fantastic.
The power,
The power
of
of
Betty.
one. The power of many.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
love that.
I don't think you could more succinctly sum up how terrible that fucking
Oh,
bit
everyone
was.
has been memeing the shit out of that scene. They're never gonna recover from that. But no,
Okay, so episode 3, this is another one that threw me for a loop, right? Because I was not expecting to see like what is it, a Zabrak?
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, we've got a whole coven of witches, and I was like, oh god, they're like Night Sister witches, and it was this whole thing
no,
in my
because Night
brain.
Sister witches are cool.
That's what I was kind of like. I was like, oh,
And then I was like,
this is
oh
interesting,
wait,
and then it was-
what?
No,
Like it just it just kept getting worse and
Harold,
worse.
they're lesbians.
Mm.
Which, whatever. Sure.
Yep.
So, when people were already leaked about what happens in episode 1, 2, and 3, because a lot of people got review copies. So, what was revealed in episode 3 was that they were going to introduce something that dramatically changes what the Force is, which I now understand is an overstatement. That was probably people who don't know Star Wars that well. These bitches are just wrong. That's not how the Force works. That's just how they think it works. 'Cause
Yeah, no, their whole thing about some people think they can control it.
some people call it they think it's a thread. Yeah, tell me how you pull on she's like, pull on the thread, change everything. What thread do you have to pull on to shoot fucking lightning out of your fingers?
Because I want to pull on that thread.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I don't know how you pull that thread. That's pretty interesting. So clearly, like, there are other cultures that view the Force differently. They're just wrong.
Yeah.
So totally fine with that. But then you have Osha, who, as I said before, has zero talent.
Yeah.
And then the Zabrak mother's like, I expect more from you. And I'm like, why? She hasn't done anything to show that she's capable in any way, shape, or form. Ever.
See, I kept thinking that they were going to do the thing where it's like, oh, the underpowered sibling is actually more powerful. They just need to harness it better. And they just haven't done that yet.
And we're 5 episodes in, and Osha just now started to sense things.
She's like, I can sense things again. It's like, again?
Wasn't her training like when they did it? They're like, yeah, you don't have any talent.
I imagine that's why she flunked out.
Yeah.
But
Well,
clearly,
people,
she doesn't want to be a witch.
Right? Like you could be
Yeah,
sensitive
fuck,
and not
dude.
have any talent
That whole
to
thing,
actually
too.
Utilize the force.
Yeah. Oh! No! Oh! I missed a major plot point in episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me.
When she talks about how she flunked out and that her Jedi skills aren't transferable. First of all, fucking what? What do you mean not transferable?
Not being able to fucking use
They are 100%
mind powers
transferable.
And then she said how she needed a paycheck. And my thought process was, why didn't you just join the Jedi Service Corps? You know, the program they have for when people fail?
Because they didn't think about that when
Because
making
they
this
probably
film.
didn't know it exists. Because the people who write fucking don't know anything, which only irritates
don't
me
use
more
source
about the
material.
thing we see in episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to it. But yeah, so I'm like, well, that breaks your plot point right now. The Jedi have a program for when you fail out of Jedi training. You get to still be. They don't just say, fuck off, go live in the universe. You don't have a family anymore. Bye.
I honestly think they were trying to frame it as a she felt like she wasn't supposed to be there or something, so she left, right?
She wasn't, but I'll get into that later in this episode.
Hey, that's fair. That's entirely fair, knowing what I know.
But yeah, so she clearly doesn't want to be a witch. And then the chief mother consistently is like, I'm gonna make you a witch anyway, until just randomly in the middle of the episode she's like, okay, I'm gonna let you do your own thing. Why are you starting now?
Yeah, it's like, what changed?
And then the Jedi show up. Oh, we have the middle of our ceremony. We have the Ascension ceremony where they worship this random ass hole. Still don't know what don't know what the purpose of that pit is, but they worship the pit. Still confused about that. They never explained that. I just, if there's like one scene.
Is it supposed to be, maybe it's supposed to be a like fucking representation of the dark side of the force or something, just like in
If it is,
What
then
was it,
I
fucking
am
the-
totally
the-
fine with this witch coven just dying. Because they're
Yeah.
all clearly
You-
evil.
But like, what was it in the fucking? Was it the Last Jedi saga or whatever?
Right. I said the exact.
Where
I
she's
said that
like-
during my interview, or I said that during my review, because it reminds me of the pit from The Last Jedi, which is funny because I was surprised I remember anything from The Last Jedi. I thought I memory hold that entire movie.
That's the only thing I actually kind of remember is the fucking like, oh, the dark side's over here in this hole for some reason.
But what's funny was
Why?
there was a scene before the actual ceremony where it's still daytime and there's like 4 witches around the hole getting ready for the ceremony, I guess. And my thought process was, well, what's the point of the hole?
Sacrifice, obviously. Throw your unborn child in there.
Yeah, if the ceremony actually finished, they were gonna chuck Osha into that pit.
Yeah. More
Bones. Need bones.
Watch it just turn out to be a fucking sarlacc.
So they have the
Just
ceremony.
a dead Sarlacc. It's just the pit that's left.
Oh god. So middle of the ceremony, the Jedi interrupt, which is interesting. They said the Jedi sliced into the platform, which I can already tell was going to confuse normal people. What few were actually watching this show? Because people don't know that slicing is the term for hacking. So it's like, I would imagine normal people were like, what, they just throw their lightsabers and that worked? I guess.
Wouldn't put it past Disney.
That's one of those things that I didn't even think about, because to me, that's just a normal term.
Right, because we understand Star Wars.
Exactly.
They do a lot of things in here where they confuse normal people, and even base level Star Wars fans don't understand the reference. Again, in episode 5, we'll get to that in a little bit. And so they interrupt. They say hide the girls, and they don't hide them.
No, yeah, they just keep them in the fucking group in the back.
Instead
And they
of-
were like, don't go out. And then they just let her walk out.
Oh yeah, they don't even stop them. Like, make sure they don't leave. Or
Oh,
stay
God,
hidden. And
no.
then,
And the Jedi are just like, come out. We won't hurt you. And it's like, that's not what someone who's not going to hurt you says.
So it's it. Or so yeah, they're trying.
God.
They like weasel their way through the crowd, and you see one of the witches like put their hand on their shoulder, and that's it. They don't stop them. They just
Nope.
lightly put their hand on their shoulder and they go, "Oh, I guess that's not working. Okay, just keep going." And then Kalnaka sees them. So I think this is the part where you were talking about, Zay, where talking about Republic law.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's against Republic law for you to be training children or something like that, right?
yeah, we
And it's
think
like,
you might
wait,
be training.
wait. Yeah, and the whole we're not part of the Republic, and they're just gonna throw that out there anyways, and then they're just gonna ignore that and keep talking about how you can't have the children training here.
Well, the way I looked at it is, what do you mean you're not part of the Republic? Are you guys the governing body of that planet? Because I don't think you are. What do you mean you're not
The
part
other
of it?
problem that I had with that, though, was just the entire thing that it's like, the Republic has a law about witches training children?
All right, there's several problems I have with this part of the show. My first major problem, and this is a problem that should make the entire show not happen. The girls are too fucking old.
Right.
That's it. The second the Jedi showed up on the planet and saw that they were 8 years old, they should have been like, "Oh, well, can't do anything about that. Bye."
Sorry about that. Can't do that. Because they're not even like a time of war where they would have been trying to recruit anyone that they could.
Yeah, this is the peak.
Right?
This is peak level of the Jedi. This is the High Republic. They are at their peak. They're not hurting for
They
recruits.
should not have been literally dredging the bottom of the barrel to
Yeah.
try to find anyone and anything that was connected to the Force.
The only difference between Anakin... Okay, there's two exceptions. Anakin, the Chosen One, who Qui-Gon was insistent upon because he knew for a fact that he was the Chosen One. And then Luke, when there were only like 4 Jedi in existence anyway, so they needed him. Those are like the two main exceptions to the age rule. And then Luke obviously kind of broke with that because he has to rebuild the Order, which we'll ignore that bit. We're at peak level of Republic Jedi Order. They're not recruiting 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
That should have stopped. End of credits. Show's over. Bye.
Yep.
So that's.
I also just want to know, like, how on earth did she know enough about the Jedi to be like, I want to be a Jedi, Mom?
Yeah, she says, look how they wear their robes and their sabers. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know what a saber is? How do you even know what a lightsaber is? How do you know what a Jedi is?
How do you know what any of this shit is?
Yeah, so they're too old. That's my biggest problem, and I'll always hold that makes it so the show should not have happened at all. The second
it really
point
shouldn't
is,
have.
you guys can say no. Part
that
of
like
Republic law is they can't take the child without the parents' permission. Obviously, the point of this show is they're trying to make the Jedi look like the bad guys. That's what they're going to go with.
Yep.
That's the point of the show. The point of the show is to make the Jedi be looked on with a less favorable light. Totally breaking new ground there. No one's ever done that before.
No, never.
But the
it's
biggest
not like they're a religious sect or anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest misconception is when they call them baby snatchers. They're not. They legally can't take children without the parents' permission. That is flat out Republic law. So you guys can just say no, and then they have to leave. That's it. That's another breaking thing. I bet the people on staff didn't know this.
Oh, no, absolutely they didn't know this.
Because the whole baby snatcher thing is literal Sith propaganda. That's what the Sith told people to make them not like the Jedi.
I mean, I guess to be fair, if they're witches, they probably have a tie to the Sith somewhere, right? Like, that would make
Probably.
enough sense that they would think that then, to a point.
Right. But yeah, that's the second problem I have with the whole plot line is you guys can just tell them no. And you're done. It's not illegal to train people in the Force. Sorry. If that was the case, they would have taken care of Dathomir a long time ago.
Yeah, Jesus.
So, yeah. And then Soul just gives Osha his lightsaber.
Oh my god! Yeah, I forgot about that!
Here, child, have this dangerous weapon. Show would have gotten 5 points if she just accidentally, like, if the
Beamed
reason
herself in the face with it.
if the reason everything went to shit was because OSHA turned it on and hit somebody, I would fucking lose my mind. That would have been so
If
funny.
that's how Torben got his scar.
That would have actually made sense.
Oh man.
God, that would have been way better. God damn it. We should be
Oh.
the ones writing these shows.
for real, right?
And not just because we actually give a fuck about the franchise.
Yeah,
but,
give me
you know,
$180 million. I'll pump out a much better movie than this shit.
way better.
So yeah. Then they decide, remember in the beginning when she says no violence, no weapons, we don't want to be violent? And then she immediately goes back on that and just like possesses Torben.
Oh, yeah. And they were just like, oh, let him go.
I'm pretty sure at that point in time when you start possessing Torben, that's when lightsabers are getting pulled out. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely.
I'm like, you need to stop that right now. You are
It's like, I'm
clearly
gonna threaten
evil.
you with an obvious possession.
Right? And again, this goes back to my whole they're too old thing, because they're clearly getting trained in the dark side. They're not going to make good Jedi. No wonder OSHA flunked out.
Fuck, right.
May would have straight up become a dark Jedi if she got taken. Just saying.
Oh, and can we
Clear.
also talk about just how controlling and clingy May was through that whole thing, too?
Oh, you sweet baby boy. We're going to get to that part.
Fuck. My God. Oh my God. This is literally what made me hate May, and there's so far nothing in the series that could do anything to make me take that back.
I hope May dies.
I really do too.
I'd
really
actually
do
be
too.
totally fine if everyone in the show dies. I'm just saying.
I mean, technically, I feel like everyone kind of has to.
Oh, for sure. But again, that's episode 5. It's on the plus side. Episode 4 probably won't take that long because nothing fucking happens in it.
Yeah, episode 4 is just straight up.
So they take their test. We get to see Kelnaka fix up a bike. What's really funny to me is OSHA talks to Kelnaka. I'm like 100% sure she doesn't speak Shiwok.
Yeah, no, like that was another thing. I'm like, you live on this planet and somehow you speak Wookiee?
What's even funnier is in every other instance of like Wookiees talking, like when Chewbacca talks, when Gungi talks in Clone Wars, there's someone nearby who kind of gives you context clues as to what they said. Whether they repeat what they said and then answer it, or they just answer it in a way that lets you know what they said, because that's how you
And
get
in this
past.
show, they just did like subtitles or
No,
some shit.
he doesn't even
No,
get
they didn't.
subtitles. You don't
No,
know
but the fucking
what
weird
he said.
droid at the fucking Jedi Temple did.
Right.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, no one knows what Kelnaka has said in this entire show. So I like kind of just like putting in my own shit. I like making him the most savage son of a bitch in the whole show. He just talks shit the whole time.
You're a fucking idiot, kid. Leave.
The fuck you want, kid? So again, yeah, she doesn't know what he's saying. We don't know what he's saying. They don't do anything to let us know what he said.
Could you imagine if what he was saying was just like, you like bikes? Well, fuck off. This is mine.
Oh, we skipped over a part.
Did we?
We did.
Yeah, we did. When the witches are discussing whether or not they should let the kids take the test. And
Oh, yeah.
Zabrak mom, there's 2 lines of dialogue that are switched. I guarantee they were in the wrong spot. Cuz one of the girls says a drop of Jedi blood and the Republic would be all over us. And then the Zabrak mom says there's only 4 of them, they won't be missed. Doesn't make any fucking sense. So, yeah, that statement completely contradicts the first statement. Right? Those lines should have been switched. Where she says there's only 4 of them, they won't be missed. And then the girl responds with, no, if we shed a drop of blood, the Republic's going to destroy us. Right? Am I crazy? Also, the fact that
I don't know.
this coven's clearly evil. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I have no sympathy for anyone in this group. Their
Oh, God,
first
no.
line of dialogue, instead of, again, as I said, you can just tell them no, they can't have the kids. End of story. Go away.
Children snatchers.
Go away now. But then they're like, okay, we don't want them. Let's just kill all of them, right? Just so back to the ship where they're giving the Jedi test. This goes back to my point before where the plot only advances because people are fucking stupid.
I have to admit, I kind of stopped paying attention around this point. I was doing other shit, and I couldn't be bothered to give a fuck.
Yeah.
So they take the test. Osha's answering wrong, and then Soul keeps telling her that she's
Did
correct.
someone tell you to answer wrong?
Yeah, so she's Mountain, and he goes correct, and that wasn't a. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Again,
It's like
people being
that's
stupid.
what you do.
People being stupid's what advanced the plot forward.
Yeah.
To be fair, she was also a child at that point.
I was gonna say that.
goddamn.
Right. Even still, they're both clearly brilliant children, as every child is in Star Wars now. Like, all children are fucking prodigies now, so they wouldn't have
Every
made that
single
mistake.
child is special when related to the Force. Don't you know that?
Don't you
Nope.
know? And then
Why don't you explain it to me?
she passes. They go through her thing with her mom, where her mom decides to just ignore everything she's tried to say and okay, I'm gonna let you go be you now.
I mean,
Go
to be
with this.
fair, there were a couple of moments where she was even telling Zabrak mom, like, hey, they're kids. We got to let them do their thing. They choose where they go in the world.
Yeah,
She said that a couple of times before that. I know that.
I just find it hard to believe that she was the whole you go do you thing when she was consistently telling her I don't want to be a witch. And she's
Oh, God. Yeah. And then there was the fucking, I think we might have covered this, but it just popped into my head again. But the whole, if they find out how you made these
Oh!
kids, and I was like, what?
we skipped that. We skipped that. How did we skip the Immaculate
Talk about
Force conception? Fuck.
Yeah, no, right? Because, like, first and foremost, it's two mommies. And when the Zabrak mom was like, I carried them, I was like, fucking what? What are you talking about right now?
Harold, they're
And that was one of the
lesbians.
things that threw me for a huge loop, right? I was like, wait.
Harold, they're
No?
lesbians. Yeah, they use the Force to force impregnate, I guess.
Apparently.
See, because they wanted a matriarchal society with no men. But you know how, like, the Night Sisters did it? The Night Sisters still had, like, male Zabraks on the planet that they basically were just sex slaves.
Breeding.
Yeah, they just used them. They just used them to breed Night Sisters, and whenever they were
Or for
males,
the warriors when shit had to hit the fan.
yeah, and then the men were essentially slaves. That's how they did it. They didn't want to do that for this one. They decided to.
Because slaves is bad.
So yeah, Darth Pelagius
Darth Plagueis
Spends-
Force. Remember.
spends over 100 years trying to figure out how to manipulate the Force. These ladies don't even know what midi-chlorians are. They think it's a thread. How did they come up with the Force technique of creating life?
Honestly,
Yeah, maybe-
here's the thing. When you think stuff like that is magic, there's a pretty decent chance you'll come up with shit that other people wouldn't think of.
But the way the Night Sisters do it is it actually looks like magic. Like they do the green smoke and everything. They use it for their magics and stuff. But when the Witch Coven does it, they just push and pull. They just do telekinesis. They do nothing else except the whole possessing thing, right?
That's fair.
I don't see them have any. The fact that they did the whole Force Immaculate Conception thing is stupid on its own. Just saying. Also, they talk about how they haven't done the Ascension ceremony since they were first exiled. So how long has that Witch Coven been around? Because if there are
Only God knows.
if there are no men, and the only time they were ever able to create life was with this one instance with the twins who were 8, so 8 years ago. I imagine this coven hasn't been around that long.
Yeah, you're reading too much into it.
I guess so, but how long have they been there since? I imagine they can't have been there that long. Yeah, I can't believe we ignored the whole Force Immaculate Conception thing. Fucking ridiculous.
It's so far fetched that you.
We just
kinda don't
forgot
think
it was
about
all
yeah.
because it's fucking stupid.
That's where they start the lore breaking. And then
This is something so fucking.
we get to the
like,
best.
out of
Oh,
left
we get
field.
to the meat of the episode. May
Mhm.
gets mad. Remember how May has been doting about we're one and the same. I love you. I don't want you to go. How am I
You
gonna?
give me, and I give you.
How am I gonna stop you from leaving? I know.
I'm just gonna burn you.
I'm gonna
light you on
kill you.
fire.
On fire.
Can we talk about how she lit a stone building on fire?
Using
By
what I
igniting a
assumed to be
fucking
was like
Jedi
some
notebook,
tech
by the
shit,
way.
no?
A lamp.
Oh
Right.
yeah, her notebook that she was drawing in is what she used to start the fire.
Start the fire. By the way.
I mean, she lit it on fire with something first.
Yeah,
which
and then
is
she
just
lit a stone
fucking
building
ridiculous.
on fire in response. This is
And
the
then somehow
part
killed everybody.
where I'm going to assume that the Jedi had something to do with how the whole building burned down. How
It
they
has to, right?
how
Like they
even-
had to have done something.
I'm just genuinely convinced no one on this team knows how fire works. But how did they
Oh,
burn
God,
down a
no.
stone building?
Easy, it's actually flammable stone.
For real. But yeah, Osha escapes immediately. Why that she shows
How that
some
happened, I don't
slicing
know.
skills that I don't know how she learned how to do that. She's just good at everything she does.
Oh, didn't you know? That's just setting it up so she can be a technic.
Right.
Mechanic,
No,
whatever.
she's the main character. She's got to have plot.
She's got to be
She
good at
has
everything.
something good somewhere. Because the other option is just that she's a horrible person and can't do fucking anything.
I
And
guess.
what are you gonna do with a character like that?
I guess Indy's just not joining.
Probably.
Oh well,
He might have not read the messages or something too, though.
maybe.
Oh no, wait, he did read it at one point because he said his kids thing and he wasn't gonna miss it.
Oh well. Maybe he'll
His
be here.
loss. We could have had him yelling. and it
Worst
would've been
case
funny,
scenario,
but
he just
oh well.
watched 5 episodes for nothing.
Or maybe he's still trying to catch up on him because he did say he was gonna wait till today to do it. Which,
Oh, why would you do that to yourself?
bro, I don't know.
Oh,
Bro, I was doing like I told him like I told Neffy earlier is that I fucking did. I was redoing them, rewatching them, just
And
to
I was
like
like,
like.
oh,
brush
you're
up on it.
dedicated to the craft.
Yeah, I wish I didn't. I really wish I didn't.
And Matt was like, this
I'm like,
show is
that-
dedicated to the
You
craft
don't
of being
understand.
shit.
That's like an hour of my life that I'm not gonna get back. I'm like, oh, I could have been doing
Just an
something.
hour.
Yeah, I only did it like an hour before we started. I got through like halfway of episode 2. Ugh.
So May burns down the castle.
Which is
Still
so
don't
dumb,
fucking
though.
get it, but you know.
I
Apparently.
don't understand that shit.
So I will point out there's that instance when they're doing the training, when they stop training and Zabrak woman like senses something and she looks at what is the power generator, I assume. Maybe that was a Jedi sneaking around doing something. Maybe. We might find out.
I mean,
in
to be
episode-
fair, Soul was kind of hiding around at the beginning of the episode too,
right.
which is also something I forgot that I wanted to talk about. But when they were like practicing and he was just being a fucking like voyeur watching them from behind a tree, like,
Or that moment
Goddamn soul.
Or that moment when they're interrupted ritual when he says out loud that Mark wasn't there this morning. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would you say that?
God, no, you're right. It's like that was the dumbest thing you could have said in this moment.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
Why would you? Because
You
the plot
moron.
only moves forward when people do something stupid.
That Mark wasn't there this morning, and they're like, you were watching us, you idiot!
So I'm guessing that the Jedi had something to do with the building burning down.
It has to. Like, they feel bad about something, and they're just not gonna feel bad about nothing. Well, they might. They're kind of pushovers.
So unfortunately, that's the kind of mystery that there's so much dumb shit happening in episode 3 that people aren't making it to episode 6 or 7 or 8.
Oh
So
God,
it's a-
no.
That's a bad marketing strategy
know
that you guys
mystery's not
made.
gonna be resolved until the final episode.
There's a way you could have done Mystique where you could have had like shadows moving overhead or like someone off to the side would go, oh, the Jedi. No, you think that they give off the impression that May burned down the castle. That's what
Yeah.
people think.
The impression they just straight up like
Right.
Showed you
said
that
she
that's
did.
what she
Right.
did, yeah.
So, unfortunately, no one's gonna stick around for the end of your fucking mystery. Good job, guys.
Yeah, because they're not going to reveal it until
Congratulations, you have
They're not gonna
made
reveal it
single
until,
worst
like,
mystery I
the
have
last
seen in
episode
years.
to be like, oh, it's the cliffhanger. Now you got to watch the next season.
We see Soul, who's there for some reason, run out. Or first, Osha and May go across the bridge that conveniently broke in that one spot. How convenient. We get the best line of
Plot.
we get the best line of dialogue in the whole show. What have you done? What have you done? Bitch, you burned down the bill. You just tried to murder me.
Yeah, no, dude, the fact that May can act at all like it wasn't her fucking fault is infuriating to me. It is asinine.
And then what's funny to me is Soul comes in, sees them both fall. He has his arm out, and he doesn't catch May with the Force.
He doesn't do it with the Force at all.
He totally could. Just
Yeah,
saying.
he could have. That is weird. Why?
No. What you're saying is he totally should have been able to.
Right. And then he just lets her fall and catches Osha. Whatever.
I watched her die. Nah, you watched her fall into a chasm. That's a little different.
You let her die.
Like, you
Which-
could have done something in that moment. After all, your
Yeah, you could've
training
just
is
been like,
literally all
"Whoa."
about, like, response in a hazardous situation, is it
Mm-hmm.
not?
Yeah, the Force is your ally. Shouldn't have been surprised by the fact that she fell. Just saying. She
Yeah,
wakes.
I mean, you're literally trained to utilize the Force to, do things.
Osha wakes up in the medical ship. Oh no, we forgot where Osha walked by everyone fucking dead.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Keep
dead.
moving. Yeah, that part.
I wonder
was
if
just like,
that's
why-
what they're going to try to say is what the Jedi did.
If
they
that-
just, like,
They killed
went
them
in
all?
and murdered everybody because the building was on fire.
If that's the case, though, how did they all die right next to each other? Right? It looks like they were all in a group and then they just dropped dead.
Easy. The Jedi wanted to make it look like an accident.
First of all, they want us to believe that they just died in the fire, which already doesn't make sense.
God,
Yeah.
no.
They all
None of
just-
it does.
They all just died in a fire. Osha sees her mom fucking straight dead. Super dead. Probably. Also, no one had like any light. If you go back and look like frame by frame, none of them have like lightsaber injuries or anything. So
Wait a minute. I just thought of something from was it episode 1 where they where it's Soul training the younglings and talking about close your eyes and
yeah,
feel like you're jumping into an ocean, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there that one youngling that was just like, all I see is fire, growing, consuming everything?
Oh my God, you're right.
oh Padawan, that's the franchise turning to ash.
And he just he's just like, haha, yeah. And on the inside, he's like, oh my God, the kids know, we gotta leave.
Truly
The Force is not
wonderful
letting
the
us
mind
go.
of a child is. The Padawan is right.
Let them get away from there.
What did you know? The Padawan guessed right. Looks like we've got to kill him.
I see fire. Oh, don't worry, honey. That's just Lucasfilm burning down.
Like the Ed Sheeran song?
Oh,
How do you know?
that's
what
just
that
$180 million being lit on fire.
Wait, did you say you didn't know what that means?
is? No, I do know what that means. I'm just like Soul's just like, how the fuck do you know what Ed Sheeran is? Like that's like
I see
millennia waiting.
fire inside the temple.
Isn't that from the Hobbit? Isn't that Ed Sheeran song about the Hobbit?
Yeah,
or
he
whatever?
did it. He did it for the closing credits of the Hobbit movie.
That song's good though.
It is a really good song.
It is a good song.
So
I don't like the
Osha,
fact that it's Ed Sheeran singing it, but it's a good song.
I liked it. Although to
No,
be
I
fair, when it
liked
came
it,
out,
don't
I was
get me
also
wrong,
a
I
huge
just
Ed
don't-
Sheeran stan, so you know, might be biased.
I liked it, and I think he did a good job. I just don't like Ed Sheeran in general. You know.
so
That's
Osha,
entirely fair.
Osha wakes up in the ship and asks where her mom is, even though she clearly saw her dead. Again, we can talk about that's a child. Maybe that's PTSD.
Yeah, that could literally just be a child
I
going,
mean, would
that
you-
wasn't
if you-
real, right?
It's like,
And-
I am sorry, child, but that was real.
And that
Very much
is the
real.
end. of episode 3. We made it through, guys. Whew.
I also really want to talk about how un-Jedi-like Soul is.
For real.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
he is not a good Jedi.
None of them are. None of them are good Jedi. Except,
No,
I would
but
argue Kelnaka.
his is so much
Kelnaka
worse.
Kelnaka is the only decent Jedi in the show, and he doesn't do shit.
Yeah, I was about to say,
No,
like,
God,
it's
no.
gonna
He
go
fixed
to-
a bike.
He fixed a bike. He gave off the air of him
Of a
and
wise
Inara
warrior.
and Inara.
Indara?
Indara. I don't know why.
Indara
Indara.
was pretty good.
Carrie Ann Moss gives off the air of like a Jedi, which is she's good for that role, which is fucking man, she skated by on that show. I wonder how much they paid her.
I
be
hope
in
it
this.
was
I hope a lot.
for her like 10 minutes of fame.
Because
The
that
10
has
minutes
literally
screen
been like one of the few good fucking characters in the show,
Because
too.
yeah, in the first scene, she gives off the air of she's very stoic. She gives off the air of someone who's in command,
Feels like a Jedi.
who is calm. She's a good Jedi. Kelnaka is also gives off the air of friendly, warm, calm, stoic. Can't understand what he's saying. He's probably yelling racial slurs for all we know, but
You can't say that, Kelnaka.
they didn't get to examine this either, because this is an important reason why there aren't that many Wookiee Jedis. Is because they're naturally prone to the dark side because they're aggressive. So Wookiees are normally very nice and comforting, but they're also prone to fits of rage, which is why they don't make
can
good
we-
Jedi.
Can we also, I forgot to bring this up because it was one of the first things I noticed about Kelnaka, but the fucking, like, shaved sides of his head were really weird.
Or the fact that he's
Yeah,
wearing
okay.
clothes.
I mean, like, here's the thing, though. The robes I can explain away as a Jedi thing, right?
But, no,
But,
even Gungi in the Clone Wars doesn't wear robes. He just wears a sash. That's it. He just wears like a what was it? A sash is basically he wears like a leather sash to indicate that he's a Jedi. Like for
I'm just saying.
most species that don't normally wear clothes don't have to wear robes when they're Jedi. They just wear like an indicator that they are Jedi.
Well, and it could be an entire choice on his, like, even the hair could be a choice. I'm not making like a, what a weird choice he made. I'm just saying, what a weird choice the design studio made
yeah,
to make a Wookiee that shaved a chunk of his head.
for real.
It looks horrendous.
Oh, sweet. This brings us right into episode 4. We could talk more about the Wookiee.
Oh,
But first, episode 3. What are your guys' ratings?
Zero.
that's a- yeah.
Zero. One.
could
Remember
not
how I
stand
said
it.
leave it one earlier because you couldn't leave it any lower? Zero.
Big fat
zero. Zero.
Yeah,
Because
zero,
none of it
100%.
fucking makes sense. Because this is where you realize that May is just a fucking psychopath for no good fucking reason. The story is terrible. There's no redeeming factors for episode 3. Period.
The kids are too
It
fucking
just feels like
old.
a fucking placeholder episode.
That's
that
it.
they put in. You know, like.
Yeah, it literally feels like something that shouldn't have made Final Cut, but they were like, you know what? We need an extra episode.
You know what it feels?
I bet
it
that's the
reminds
episode
me
that
of
Leslie
time
Helen's the
when-
most proud about too.
Oh,
Yeah,
probably.
Or episode
It
5.
reminds me of
Because,
No, no, she's definitely
because
more
there
proud
was
about
gay
episode 3.
witches.
You're right.
Huh?
Lesbian space
That's exactly
witches.
why she would be proud.
Lesbian space witches.
Lesbian space. Yep.
Which,
Yeah,
like, oh
inclusive
yeah,
guys.
cool inclusion, but also you made the inclusive characters the dumbest characters.
And the most clearly evil characters.
Oh, incredibly viscerally
Like,
evil.
Also, there's no fucking point to the episode because now you have no reason for wanting to side with either side. You just like, oh great.
Like,
the best, like,
everything's
maybe not-
terrible. Everyone's awful.
This is
There's no like defining goal now. It's just
this is another thing
they're
that
just
has to
evil for
do
the
with
sake of being
the
evil.
with the a lot of the reasons why I hate this show is because all the people involved do outside of the show, all of their interviews, all the articles they write. There's a consistent thing in all of the Star Wars shows that have come out where people constantly talk about how I love how Star Wars isn't exactly about good or evil. There's like shades of gray. No, it's not. The space
There
Nazis are
should
the
be,
evil
but
ones.
they haven't done that.
The space Nazis are the evil ones. That's what
Yeah,
Star
but
Wars
you want
is
to talk
about.
about
better.
the gray? Guess what? There could be actual gray in this series. in this
He's
world,
actually
but they
show
just
it.
decided not to.
But you can sense. No, I genuinely think that Star Wars, there's a dichotomy. There's good, there's evil. You can't have like likable, sensible villains in this. You can't have like a Thanos that makes sense. You have the Sith, who are the evil ones who kill a lot of people. Do they sometimes have good motivations and good backstories? Sure. Pelagius is evil as shit, but I still like his story.
Yeah,
Oh no,
but
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there's in the canon that I accept as canon, there are legitimate gray that are the in between on everything. Is that the main thing? No. And the story's always literally been about good versus evil. Anybody who says otherwise is just fucking lying to themselves.
So what I was getting at is in this show, they're trying to make the bad guys look like, oh, they're just
Good?
misunderstood or anything like. They're trying to
Just
make the space
misunderstood
witches
bad
look
guys. It's
like they're misunderstood. No, they're evil.
They're racist space fascists.
Yeah, they're clearly the evil ones. And when they talk about gray, they don't understand the basis of the Force. They don't understand the light side of the Force is the correct version. That is the Force in its natural state. The dark side is when you twist it to fit your own ends. When you let the Force flow through you in its natural state, that's the light side. The dark side is when you inflict your will on the Force. People don't understand that. They just think light, dark. You can use both in moderation, and that's gray. That's not what gray is.
This isn't the final shape.
Yeah, gray Jedi are not like lightsiders who also dabble in dark side. No, they're just lightsiders who don't follow the Jedi order to the T. That's it.
No,
they still
absolutely.
They follow the will of the Force, and that's what makes them gray. But these people don't understand that. They think that gray Jedi are ones like, oh, I just use a little Force lightning and I'm good. You know, they'll think Plo Koon is gray just because he can use Force judgment, even though it's a completely different thing.
One of my favorite things when it comes to stuff like that, though, with like the gray Jedi and them talking about that, is when you start seeing the gray, like the actual gray Jedi for what they are,
They're the
you
true
start
Jedi.
to realize that, like, God, some of the shit the Jedi do are just fucked up.
Yeah. Which is fine. You can write from a perspective of the Jedi aren't the masters, or they're not the dichotomy of righteousness, right? They're not always right. We've already seen the Jedi not be right. That was the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still the good guys. Right?
For the most part, yeah.
No, yeah. This show is trying to write them off as, oh, they're actually the bad guys. You can write that the Jedi are flawed. Sure, of course they are. They're more. I was gonna say they're human, but they're not all human.
I will say that
It's just a cheap cop out. They're just trying to.
At the end of the day, the Jedi are still the good guys. They're not the evil fascist dictators, right?
but in the height of the Jedi, like this is supposed to be, right, in the High Republic, there's definitely a theme in a lot of shit like that, where at the height of an organization's power, they have like the most chance of being corrupted too, right? So I think they're kind of going for that, as like maybe this helped lead to part of the downfall of the Republic.
Well, and this is I would argue that the fact that they are so incorruptible is the reason why they fell, because they had to be loyal to the Republic. So Sidious and Pelagius, their plan, instead of corrupting the Jedi themselves, they
corrupted the Republic.
They were corrupted the Republic. That's how they got them through, because the Jedi are the good guys at the end of the day. So they have to prey on that weakness. So, but people don't understand. Like, they try to write Jedi as the bad guys, but you really can't. You can write them as misguided or human. They're capable of error. That's completely doable. If this, like, the end of this show, if they just make them be like horrifyingly evil and just like butcher the witches, I'm gonna call bullshit. There's no way. Like, if the witches,
absolutely.
Now, what I hope happens is the witches decide to attack them, and there's a misunderstanding, so they kind of cut them all down in self-defense. You know, like a battle breaks out. That makes sense because they have to defend themselves, right?
Yeah,
because
and that's it, because that is like a self-defense thing.
At the end of episode 3, you see Torben with his scar, so clearly something happened. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, because like he definitely got it there on that planet for sure.
He just found a weird space cat that scratched his eye.
Goose?
fuck that. I can't believe you would bring up Captain Marvel in a
bringing in
situation
Goose?
like this. I can't believe you would dare speak of that movie here.
Dude, I don't understand the whole hype behind fucking Captain Marvel either, because that character is such a shit character, even in the comics.
She is a shit character. That's what, but she's a
always will be.
strong woman. That's why they love her.
Even the fucking like super feminine scene in that movie was just so forced and terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
One of the first things she does is beat up a guy and steal his clothes.
Like anything that involves her, it just God, get it away from me. I don't care.
Well, it's funny that you bring this up because this show is the Marvels of Star Wars.
oh
For
yeah,
sure.
the thing that is considered potentially one of the worst fucking movie flops in forever.
It is
and
the
that's
worst,
including the fact that 5 of the top ones that are that bad are all Disney movies.
The Marvels is the worst Marvel movie that has ever been released.
If you adjust for inflation, the other movie's worse. Which one is it? Oh fuck.
No,
John something, right?
Even Incredible Hulk, which was the lowest performing MCU movie, it's still adjusted for, actually no, even not adjusted for inflation, it still made more. Technically, because Marvels didn't make any money.
Yeah, it's fair.
It lost like 12 million. You could open a lemonade stand and sell 1 cup and make more money than the Marvels did.
Oh, the Marvels.
Episode 4. Thankfully,
Another episode where shit just doesn't happen.
Thankfully,
until
nothing
the
fucking
very
happens
end.
in this episode. We get to see Kalnaka make
seriously.
breakfast. That's it.
Pretty much. Isn't
One,
it like the beginning of that episode too? There are those dudes who come by and they're like, "Oh, maybe we can scrap a drive off of this ship."
That was the
Or was it
end
the
of
end of
episode
the
2.
last episode?
That was the end of episode 2.
End of episode 2.
We get to see Kanaka
Oh,
use the
God,
Force
that's right.
and break a blaster in half. And that's it. That's all he does in the show. But no, the show starts off with Soul getting told that May couldn't, no, that was told on episode 4. It's Soul talking to Vernestra saying, "You have to come talk with us." I think. Or was that in episode 2? That might have been in episode 2.
No, that was episode 2, wasn't it?
Was it? I'm not sure. But I did want to talk about that real quick. So they know that May is targeting the Jedi who were on what's the name of the planet?
I don't.
Brendok, that's the name.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, I hate these new planet names are stupid.
That was it. Sorry, I was still looking up. The worst performing movie in box office history was John Carter,
Oh, you're talking
which
about
was
just
also a Disney
overall.
movie.
Oh, you're just talking about overall.
Yeah, overall. That's what I'm trying to point out is so two of them. Number 1 was John Carter, a Disney movie. Number 2 was The Lone Ranger, the Disney version with Johnny Depp.
Really?
Oh my god.
Yes.
I actually liked
Dude.
that movie though.
I enjoyed the movie, but apparently when it was in box office, gosh, what is it? Setbacks led to an inflated budget of an estimated $225 to $250 million.
Jesus.
And
Wow,
it
it's
only
funny.
made
That's
186 to 221.
It's funny that's considered overestimated budget, but that is par for the course for Marvel movies now.
Yeah,
Because
right.
at Marvel's was like 250 million, not including marketing.
I just want to, I want to know who was just like, yeah, Captain Marvel and this other TV show we made, we're all so wildly popular. Let's make a movie with just those people. And a character that I've never fucking seen, and I've watched most Marvel shit.
I actually, I don't think Marvel's made a good movie since, I would say Endgame, because Spider-Man was technically a Sony movie.
Oh God, yeah.
I think
No
the
Way
peak
Home
of the
was
MCU,
fantastic,
the
but
peak of MCU was No Way Home.
absolutely.
The peak of Marvel was Endgame. Ever since then, it's been fucking ass.
Although
I enjoyed
technically-
WandaVision as it was coming out because it was a spectacle.
I
It was
haven't seen WandaVision actually. Now that I
Neither
think
of
about
us
it,
anything.
that's what I've heard.
It's pointless.
I'm bothered.
It's made pointless by the Doctor Strange movie.
Loki was pretty good though.
First season of Loki was good. I didn't watch the second season because I don't give a shit about Marvel anymore.
Is there 3
Actually,
seasons of Loki?
second season was pretty good too.
With the
Are there 3?
With the exception of Deadpool, I am going to go see Deadpool.
You just
So,
want to see
isn't-
fucking
Is Deadpool still
Logan
Marvel?
show
I
up
thought he
again.
was.
Who's the guy that?
No,
plays
he's part of the
this
MCU now.
Wolverine.
Oh no, that's right, because they had to deal with Fox to be able to get X-Men stuff.
So funny enough, there's a bunch of the channels I watch. They have like inside sources at Disney. Lucasfilm is fucked. Every single person involved at Lucasfilm is just an activist. That's all they care about. When shit like the Acolyte happens and people hate it, they double down and they do it again. That's how it's going to be for a long time. As long as Kathleen Kennedy is there, they're never going to change. Marvel,
Oh, God, no.
on the other hand, evidently there are people inside Marvel who realize that they fucked up and they're trying to fix it. Marvel just fired like 14 writers. All of them are just huge activists. So I think Deadpool is going to be great, and I am predicting that Deadpool is going to be nothing but shitting on the MCU. That's it.
I mean, so here's my thing. Deadpool, that's kind of Ryan Reynolds' baby at this point when it comes to that shit.
Yeah.
And that man will not let it fucking be Disney's thing.
I was worried
Especially
at
after
first
fucking
because
Green Lantern's nonsense.
I was worried at first because the writers for it were the writers for like Bob's Burgers instead of the other Deadpool movies. So that concerned me at first.
That
But
I
after
would be
seeing
concerned, too.
how they're treating it, after seeing the trailers, after knowing that they're bringing back Ryan and Hugh Jackman, and knowing
Did you
that
guys see
Marvel.
the thing about the popcorn buckets?
Oh, yeah. Love that.
Just
great.
after the whole Dune movie one.
But
Like,
I
don't try to fuck it.
I'm actually, funny enough, I'm going to be in Japan when that movie comes out in like 4 weeks.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm going to Japan in 3 weeks.
I want to go to
Oh,
Japan.
yeah?
Which
You gotta bring
means,
back a souvenir.
oh, wait, I don't know. Wait, we have 3 episodes left. I think, fuck, I'm going to be in Japan for the last episode of Acolyte, which means I have to record a video and do it while I'm there. Shit.
Have fun with that. They're just gonna,
Actually,
like, you know
no.
you're-
No. Episode comes
You're
out
on
Tuesday.
vacation.
My
Don't need to
flight's
do
on
that.
Wednesday, so I have to record an episode that Tuesday, edit it on Wednesday. Hell, I'll edit it on the plane. And then release it Thursday while I'm in Japan. That's going to suck. But I'm excited for Deadpool. I think that it's going to just spend the majority of the time just shitting on the MCU right now.
That's just kind of the
feels
state
like
of
that's what they're doing to begin with.
Deadpool, though.
Which is
so.
good. I want them to do that. I would like them to
Oh, absolutely.
admit that
It'd
they
be
did wrong.
hilarious.
Because you think the last 2, first of all, the Acolyte right now is being touted as the best performing Disney Plus show that's been released. Where it's
That
only,
is not a compliment.
it's only no this year. Sorry, this year. It's the best thing
Oh.
that's been released this year. Where its only competition is X-Men '97, which was good, but people didn't watch it. It didn't chart on like Nielsen ratings or anything.
Yeah, because it's on
Huh.
fucking regular
I-
ass television.
Yeah,
I didn't even actually hear about that one.
Like,
X-Men
nobody
97
pays
was
for
pretty good.
Fucking cable anymore.
X-Men '97 was.
I didn't even.
No,
I
Nielsen
legitimately did not
keeps-
know that was a thing.
Nielsen keeps track of streaming records now too, because obviously people don't watch cable anymore. But they're like Samba TV and like Nielsen will keep track of like streaming services. And
do
the
they?
only other release was Echo.
The fuck
even
is
know what that
that?
is.
That was a side character that was introduced in the Hawkeye show about
What?
about a deaf Native American girl who fights Kingpin and emasculates Kingpin in his own in the show. So no one watched it. It was
Some
shit.
more fucking female empowerment.
So needless to
Is
say,
what
the
you're saying?
Acolyte didn't have a lot of competition. Is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, like, I don't have a problem with the female empowerment shit, but like, they gotta stop forcing it. That's what makes it bad. That was what makes it cringy, and people don't want to fucking watch that.
Well, you can make a
Forcing
strong
it,
female
making it
character
the
without
focal
forcing it.
point.
That's
This is
the
another
thing.
thing they have with the Acolyte. Forcing it and making it a focal point of your show.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares about the representation. You can have it. Everyone knows Disney has checklists now for when they're hiring people.
It's like that same fucking that saying about love, right? If you have to force it, it's probably shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, so that was all of Acolyte's competition. And the way I was pointing out was Marvel was not doing good. And they
Oh god, no.
and apparently inside
At least
sources
they seem to
they
recognize
understand
it.
it now. So I'm hoping in the future Marvel's good. Hopefully we can get that fucking Blade movie at some point in time. Jesus.
Well, Marvel's doing good on the video game front because Marvel vs. Capcom's coming back, baby.
It is?
Oh shit, is it?
Yeah,
That's
they
cool.
made a
Good, because
collection of
Infinite was
all
dog
the
ass.
Original 6.
Dog ass.
I hated
Marvel
Infinite.
vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, MVC 2 is back.
Wait, are they just remaking
the
them, or
Punisher's
are they
getting
doing
in
new
there.
ones?
It's a whole collection of
Oh.
all the arcade games that they
Oh, well,
delisted
that's-
years ago.
I don't
That's a
mind.
little
I was hoping
different.
for a new one because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was ass.
Yeah,
I hate
if
that
this game does good enough, if this collection does good enough, then we'll get 4.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's a possibility.
Oh, I forgot my train of thought. Damn it, Matt. Lost my train of thought.
Talk about how
It's
Marvel
the
is doing bad.
ADHD.
talking about,
Blade.
Marvel
That's what we were talking
Blade.
about. Blade.
Yeah.
They announced the Blade movie in 2019. They've
They
gone
did?
through 4 separate scripts and 2 lead actors and like 3 directors.
I like how we went from Star Wars to Marvel so hard.
Well, we don't want to think about Acolyte for a little bit.
Just a little, but like we haven't even gotten to the good parts. And that's saying something.
Right. Well, I'll make this point and then we'll move on. Because the Blade movie annoys the shit out of me because I don't know how hard it is to make an hour and a half of fucking Blade killing vampires. Can't be
I
that
don't know.
difficult.
Seeing as how people bitched about fucking Godzilla King of Monsters and shit like that. You can't have just monster WWE. It's like that's what a good Godzilla movie is.
Good Godzilla movie was
Is this him
Godzilla
just
-1.
straight
I don't
up
really care for the King Kong universe Godzilla. I don't really care. For those movies were kind of fun to watch, but I didn't go see the new one. I didn't really care for it. I did see
I
Godzilla
haven't seen
-1.
the newest one though. Godzilla -1 was fantastic in a different way though, because the story was good.
Which
the
had-
action scenes were good. Like it's the only time I've ever watched a fucking monster movie and been like, oh god, the human side story is important and engaging.
So good. Also cost 1/8 of the budget of this show.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really?
I like measuring shows in amounts of Godzilla -1s. Hold on, let me just double check real quick.
Jesus.
Godzilla -1.
Do you guys ever watch
budget.
Shin Godzilla?
Maybe.
Oh yeah,
It was so the original Godzilla was an analogy for the nukes, right? Shin Godzilla was an analogy for the nuclear meltdown at Fukushima.
I'll be
Oh.
back. I'm going to pee.
15 million.
It was a cool movie. One of those things though where you watch it and you're just kind of like
12.
cringing a little as an American because there's a whole character in that movie that's like, I was raised in America. I speak American, baby, the whole time, right?
12. It's 12 Godzilla
It was a good
-1s.
movie though. I really did thoroughly enjoy it.
Godzilla
own it, so
-1 had a
there's that.
$15 million budget. So the Acolyte is 12 Godzilla
Am I alone?
Am I muted?
Oh no.
I didn't realize I was muted. My bad.
Oh God, I was wondering. I'm just like, okay, I know Matt said he had to
What
go to
did
the
I-
bathroom. Where
What,
did you go?
what did I hit that muted? I don't. Oh, because I hit the slash button. That's why. Because I was dividing on a calculator. 12.
Ah.
The Acolyte is 12 Godzilla -1s. Cost 15 million to make that movie.
But have you seen Shin Godzilla?
No, I haven't.
Really?
I didn't
Actually,
know. I
highly
didn't-
recommend it. It's a good movie.
It's. I'm so mad. You just reminded me about this. Is the last tangent. I swear. We'll get back to the Acolyte. When I was in the Navy, we had there's a tradition on a ship where you get like portable hard drives, like 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte hard drives, and essentially you trade movies and TV shows and anime and music, and that's basically like its own little form of currency. You trade stuff around. Like, hey, you want 3 gigabytes of porn? I see you have all of the MCU. Let's trade. And you basically you give someone your hard drive, they give you yours, and then you just move shit onto computers and stuff. I had
That's hilarious.
a whole collection of every Godzilla movie at the time, starting from the original Gojira
Gojira.
all the way up to I think at this point in time it was the one with
Was it the 2014? Or
I think so. I think that well, let's see. I was in the Navy.
the
in
beginning
20
of the
This
King
was in
Kong universe
2015.
one?
This is in the 2015 one. So yeah, it would have been that Godzilla. Everything, even the original Godzilla versus Kong. There was a couple Ghidorah or not a couple Ghidorah. Gamera. There's a couple Gamera movies in there.
Oh man.
There's the one where Godzilla does the dropkick, which I think is with King Kong. No, it might be different though. It's the one where the Godzilla does the dropkick. That it was in there. I had all of them. And that hard drive got stolen, and I'm still so mad about that.
Oh, what?
Yep.
Oh boy, what I missed now.
I
It
left.
got stolen?
I left my backpack with the hard drives in one of the berthings. I don't even remember why I did it. I don't know why I left it there, but it was. This is the time when we were in shipyard, and the whole ship's basically everyone. There's barely anyone there during the day. Just the shipyard crew doing like heavy maintenance that we don't do. One of the shipyard guys must have stolen it, I guess.
I'm sorry.
That's
What?
such bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
You missed a tangent. That's what you get for going to the bathroom.
Yeah, you bitch.
I don't care. I had to go to the bathroom.
I was talking about how in the Navy you have since you don't have Wi-Fi, right?
Right.
You essentially what we have is we'd have little hard drives, like 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte hard drives, and that would have all of our movies and TVs and music and stuff. And there was basically like a trade network going on where you take someone else's, they take yours, you take what you have. It's like, oh, you have 30 gigabytes of porn? Cool. I'll take the entire MCU off you. Thank you. And so that it was basically like a trade network, and I had all of the original Godzilla movies.
Oh no.
Like every Godzilla movie from the original Gojira all the way to like the 2014 Godzilla. All of them.
Oh no.
But that hard drive got stolen. I'm still upset about that to this day.
I mean, I would be too.
Understandably so.
But all right, tangent over. Let's get back to episode 4 of The Acolyte.
Oh boy.
Kelnok.
Is it bad that I don't remember a whole hell of a lot of it?
Nothing happens in this episode. That's why.
Except they kept losing their tracker squirrel.
Fucking that.
Yeah, and
Is
then
he
you had to keep
sentient
doing
or is he
fucking-
just stupid? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Dude, I don't know,
Why
because
do
like
you
he
keep-
just disappears and like we need a tracker to find our tracker, and
We
it's
need a
like
tracker to track down our tracker. Fucking brilliant dialogue, by the way.
tracker to track down our tracker. You got a tracker? I heard you like trackers, bro. So I put a tracker for your tracker.
So one of the things I had the biggest problem with is Vernestra wants them to go back to oh right, because it starts on Coruscant. They're back at Coruscant. That's where the episode starts off at. So they know May is targeting the 4 Jedi that were on Brendok. The only one left is Kelnaka on a planet
And
that
Sol.
well, Sol obviously, but she's talking to Sol right now. So instead of
The
going,
only one left that isn't Soul.
instead of going directly from the planet they're on to the planet where Kelnaka is, Vernestra wants them to come back to Coruscant to have a fucking meeting.
Oh yeah, dude, bureaucracy at its finest.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, no, we know where she's going. We can beat her there because we have a ship, and as far as we know, she doesn't. So
yeah, that's literally just how bureaucracy works.
Also, in the middle of while they're having that meeting, Jackie is training with a wooden sword. I hate this.
Was
hate
she?
that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there's the ginger Jedi who's giving them advice like eliminate all forms of all vulnerabilities. You know, don't fuck up. Very sage advice.
Oh yes, wonderful.
So they're all training with like boken, like wooden swords. Why they're not training with lightsabers, the weapon they actually use is...
Oh, you mean the fact that they have training sabers is just totally lost on whoever made this?
Well, I mean, not even that. She's like an actual Padawan, and all the people in the room are like teenage Padawans. They should just be training with their sabers at that point in time. I don't know.
But we're worried about them hurting each other.
One of the comments on my video was like, clearly they didn't have the budget for that. Which made me that was funny.
I mean, fuck, dude. Just look at the animation from the first couple episodes.
Oh god! And then
I have to admit, I actually don't know if the animation is still as janky as it was in like episode 1 because I just have it on in the background while I'm doing other stuff because I don't pay attention enough anymore.
It's all most of it's recorded on a sound stage, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look authentic. Another problem I have, especially when they're on like the jungle planet, is. And when they're on Coruscant, when you're watching the movies, it looks like people actually like are living there. Like everyone's robes look like they're robes that people wear every single day. All of the robes in this show look like they were just pulled out of the bag and put on. And then they shot.
Just pristine.
They're pristine all the time.
Now, to be fair, you could use that the fact that it's in the High Republic as that being a reason for it.
Even still, these are robes. They're still Jedi that wear the same robes almost every day. They only ever have like 3 or 4 pairs.
I think it's just one of those things where, like in a lot of science fiction, where there's like a golden age in a civilization, right? And it's one of those things where it's like everything was so much cleaner and better then.
Well, they could go for that angle, but it just looks fake.
Oh
That's-
no, absolutely. I
That's
don't disagree
achieved
with you.
result. It looks like they just pulled the costumes out of the bag and wore them, like they just got them off freaking Party City, put them on, and then shot the shot. And I hate how pristine it looks. Like, you can make the temple look pristine, sure, make that look pretty, but make the Jedi look like they actually do shit for a living.
Because they do.
Right.
Apparently not in this universe.
Speaking of costume changes, there's the really stupid scene of Soul telling Osha to come along. Oh, before we get to that, we got to talk about the major lore breaking that sparked an entire controversy. You guys probably didn't hear about this. So you know that Syrian that's in the temple during that meeting with a big head?
Oh, the one that I was immediately like, Ki-Adi-Mundi?
That is Ki-Adi-Mundi, officially.
What?
In the credits. Yep.
No.
In the credits, that is in fact Ki-Adi-Mundi. I said that too, and I'm like, oh, cool, Syrian. I said in my video, I said Ki-Adi-Mundi's long lost cousin over here. No, that is him. They made him alive 80 or like 40 years before he was born.
No.
You know the
What?
guy. You know the guy in episode 1 who says the Sith had been extinct for millennia, who is now apparently aware of a Jedi murdering conspiracy.
Uh-huh.
So what happened essentially was Wikipedia, who I will never fucking use now because they're a bunch of pieces of shit, decided to go back and just retroactively change everything about him in lore, like in the
What?
canon lore. Yeah. So the thing about Syrians, and this is in the actual like Star Wars like race encyclopedia, Syrians have a lifespan. Males live 50 years, women live 100 years. Males aren't born that often. That's the entire reason Ki-Adi-Mundi was allowed to have a family, because the race needs to repopulate because of their
Oh, I didn't
weird-
even know he had a family.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
news to me.
Yeah, he's a sociopath, so like he has no attachment to his family. He's basically like, I make babies, so there are more Syrians because that's my duty to my people. Basically it.
Oh, Jesus. All right. That's fucked.
Now, Ki-Adi-Mundi is a huge sociopath. Like he's
I'm-
one of the worst Jedi, but still,
I am learning things.
that's the entire purpose of the fact that
Makes me feel... Every time I talk to you about Star Wars, I feel like a fake fan.
Don't worry, you know, fair, and I'm sure you're gonna prove your fandom in the next episode too, because that's the
Listen.
important
Oh,
bit.
God.
How do you think I feel
no.
listening to you two talk?
So yeah,
fair.
Syrians males live half as long. Their lifespan is 50 years. Okay.
That's not even a human lifespan.
Right. They don't live for that long. But Jedi usually have longer lifespans than the rest
Through
of
the
their
Force,
species.
yeah.
But it's never more than like a good third, like a third of their lifespan gets enhanced. Like humans, instead of living for like 80 years, they'll live for like 130 or something along those lines. The Syrians probably could live to like 80 then at that point as a Jedi. So they made Ki-Adi-Mundi be born 100 years before the Phantom Menace. Okay. So
no.
they broke lore, like, and so one of the major YouTube channels, Star Wars Theory, probably the biggest Star Wars channel on YouTube, pointed that out, and he's like, this dude's not even alive yet. And then Wikipedia decided to attack him and say that he's sending his fans at them to get on them for changing lore to shill for this stupid show. Because
What?
yeah, Wikipedia's name on Twitter right now is like Wikipedia Rainbow Flag, Yord Horde Soul Patrol. That's what their name on Twitter is right now. Because they're Disney shills. They can't just be like, okay, well, and so I'm not using Wikipedia anymore because they clearly
Yord Horde.
yeah, hashtag Yord Horde, hashtag Soul Patrol. I bet they feel really good after episode 5. Fuckers. But so yeah, that was Ki-Adi-Mundi. So the lore breaking continues with the show.
Jesus Christ. Well, anyways, back to episode
Topic at hand.
4.
We're still in episode 4. I'm just
Yeah, right. No, that's what I'm saying is back to that topic.
Right.
Because we got a little off track for a
So
minute there.
Ki-Adi-Mundi, who shouldn't even be alive yet, is at this
He's
meeting.
alive. It doesn't make sense, but whatever. Okay,
And
fuck it.
then, for some fucking weird reason, this little secret council decides that we shouldn't inform the Jedi High Council that 2 Jedi Masters have been killed. Fucking what?
What? Yeah, that's a fucking
they're like,
terrible
we should.
decision.
They
That's like, hey, so Jeff fell off the fucking ladder yesterday, and we didn't report it to OSHA or safety because we were worried someone would get in trouble.
Yeah, they're worried that the Jedi would be obligated to tell the Senate. No, the council would be obligated to tell the Senate. No, they don't. They don't have to tell the Senate shit. Like remember in Attack of the Clones, or it was Revenge of the Sith, I think, where he's like, I think it's time we inform the Senate that our ability to use the Force has been diminished. And Yoda's like, only the Dark Lord of the Sith knows of our weakness. If informed the Senate is, multiply our adversaries will. Remember when they did that? The council doesn't have to tell the Senate anything.
Oh, fuck no.
They can handle shit in-house. So I don't know why they wouldn't at least tell them, hey, by the way, 2 Jedi Masters are dead, which is a big fucking deal right now. We've got it handled, but we should just let you guys know. Fortunately, I don't think we're going to get Yoda in this show. Thank God.
Oh boy, they're not going to go for the obvious cash grab?
I don't think so. In the High Republic books that took place, which I think is like a good 40 years before this takes place, Yoda isn't in it because apparently he's on sabbatical. Don't know what that means. High Republic is barely canon as far as I'm concerned, but that might be the reasoning why he's not in this show. I hope not. I'd rather him not be anywhere near this dumpster fire. Don't ruin my master. Come on.
Oh, but you know they're gonna try.
They're gonna fucking try. So yeah, they decided to not tell the council. They decided to bring OSHA along, and before they bring her along, she says, "I'm not gonna wear a civilian robe," and then wears a civilian robe. Funny joke is funny. Character says they're not.
I didn't even realize that. I just was kind of again coasting through these episodes because I didn't really care.
I wanted to,
but I remember her saying that she didn't want to wear the stupid civilian robes again, and I was like, okay, cool, good for you, I guess. And then I didn't even realize she was still wearing the exact same thing.
No, yeah, I'm not going to. Character says I'm not going to do thing. 1 frame later, character is doing thing. Clearly, haha, funny joke.
Funny joke.
I pointed this out because I know why they did it. It's the easy marketing strategy of get your main character in a different outfit so you can sell different toys.
Yeah.
It's really amusing to me. They thought they were going to sell Acolyte toys.
It's Disney. They want to sell every
I
toy.
cannot wait for OSHA parentheses Jedi civilian robe close parentheses to be on Ollie's discount shelves for the next 5 years. Oh, yeah. Fucking brilliant.
Hey man, we've already established they don't make good decisions over there.
They're going to be right next to OSHA parentheses mech neck outfit close parentheses toys.
Oh my god, you're right though. That will be a thing.
Well, they still have Rey toys. They don't sell.
Rey toys exist?
Oh yeah, you go.
That's news to me.
You ever go to Ollie's before? You'll see them in the toy section.
I don't know what Ollie's is.
It's like a bargain outlet.
I wonder if that's like an East Coast thing because I've literally never seen one.
Might be an East Coast thing. It's just you go to bargain bin toy stores, you'll see Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker toys still.
Oh boy.
Also Kenobi, Ahsoka, probably Andor.
All the shit that nobody wants anything for.
Andor
Andor was good, but like after I realized that he was Andor from the movie, because I legitimately did not remember that his name was Andor. It kind of was just like, well, what was the point of this show then? We already know what happens.
Andor was a good show. Andor was the character I cared the least about. Simple as that. I like the Mon Mothma story more. I like what's his name? Whoever Skarsgård plays. Can't remember his name. But I liked his character more.
Oh,
Saw
yeah,
Gerrera.
the dude who was fucking running the like
the
artifact
the secret
shilling thing. Yeah.
I liked his character. Saw Gerrera. I love Forrest Whitaker as Saw Gerrera. Best casting that Disney's ever done.
It was a really good choice. It
him.
fits so well.
Right, because we're the racist ones, right?
Oh, absolutely.
but we're the racist side of the fandom, clearly. Love
because we don't like
Forrest Whitaker as Saw Gerrera. God, I love that character. But anyway, back to Acolyte. They travel to the planet. They do a lot of hiking through the woods.
And losing their fucking guide every time.
Yep. I shows 80% people walking through the woods. We have totally not evil, totally not the bad guy, Chimere, just goading her on. Clearly.
Oh, yeah. His whole thing is just like, it's through there. I've been there before. And she's like, you made it through this? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Why didn't you land closer if that was the case?
Oh my
Why do they
god.
have to trek through the woods is what I'm wondering.
My thing is when she touched the fucking like bug or whatever, the alien bug, and then like she turns around, right, and it's gone. Why didn't she just be like, "Oh, we need to go"?
Well, so when I first saw that episode, now I understand it was a setup for a payoff in episode 5. When I first saw that scene, I thought, wow, what a wasted scene. That could have been so much cooler.
There could have been so much scarier shit.
They could have actually... That was the first time the show felt like Star Wars to me, was when the bug attacked. Because I'm like, oh, cool, you have like drama, you have like an alien menace that's attacking. This would have been a cool time for all the Jedi to group up together, show how competent they are. Right? Nope, wasted. It wasn't a wasted scene, but at the time it felt like a wasted scene. Because I thought like, wow, that could have been a really, really cool scene. Especially in contrast for since I knew that shit was about to hit the fan in the next episode. Like, it would have been contrast to see the Jedi be really, really good at something and then show them in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Also weird how they decided. They say that Kelnaka he was assigned to that planet, right? They sent him there for a reason. What that reason is, I don't think we're ever going to find out.
And then he just vanished.
Yeah,
without
he
saying anything
stopped
to anybody.
communication, and they decided to never look for him or find out where he is.
They were just like, he's a Wookiee, he'll be fine.
Right, so it's stupid that they don't know where he is. They have to use the tracker in the first place. Dumb.
The locals say he disappeared into the woods and never returned.
Oh, yeah, like they asked the guy where he is, and then Soul's like, he's in there. Oh, really, Soul? The Wookiee decided to go into the woods? No fucking shit.
What a fucking revelation!
No fucking shit.
Who would have ever thought a Wookiee in the woods?
Yeah, right.
Hiking through the woods, blah blah blah. We get May.
What's with Disney Star Wars and their obsession with like running around aimlessly trying to find people that they just lost?
Drawn out lengthening of the episode. That's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, even in the fucking some of the last Skywalker fucking movies, they did that same shit. It was literally run,
runtime.
where'd they go? Run, where'd they go? Run, where'd they go? Fucking 8 times.
Padding runtime. That's it. Which is astounding since these episodes are getting progressively more shorter as we go.
Oh,
You
yeah,
realize that
that's
these
true.
episodes are like 30 minutes apiece. Which also infuriates me as the whole $180 million. Keep in mind, House of the Dragon is out right now. The Game of
God.
Thrones show, which has a slightly higher budget than this show, but it's like 120.
So
But the
I saw a
episodes are
thing the
twice
other
as
day.
long, and there's more of them, and it's a clearly superior show. I haven't
saw a
watched it because I'm
thing
not a
the
big
other
Game of
day.
Thrones fan. But
It made me laugh so much, but they were taking scenes from House of the Dragon and putting them side by side to scenes from Shrek, and they're the exact same fucking scenes.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Dude, it's so fucking good.
That's great.
Well,
Oh man,
um,
that was so funny.
oh, right. The May decides middle of the hike, yeah, I'm just not going to be evil anymore.
Oh yeah, no, her whole thing. I was just like, "Hey, my sister's alive. Why am I doing this?" And it's like, "You're the one that tried to kill her."
Yeah, remember the last time? Yeah, I remember the last time you saw her. You told her you were going to kill her.
Because that was the only way to get her to do what you want,
And
which
then-
is a super horrible, awful, psychopathic, narcissistic thing to do.
And then her plan is to surrender to the Jedi to tell her what she knows, which we've already established is fucking nothing.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
hey,
the whole like, what kind of master doesn't show his face to his apprentice?
Yeah, Soul already read your mind in episode 2. They already know everything that you know, which is fucking nothing. So what is her
Absolutely
plan?
Nothing.
Yeah, and she's like,
The plan
hiking's
is to not
hard. I'm
have
gonna
a
go
plan."
turn myself in.
The plan is to not have a plan.
I don't like walking anymore, so I'm just gonna turn on you. God. And then like stringing that dude up too. What a fucking thing to do.
Yeah, as far as she knows, he's just a dude. She just left him alone in the middle of the woods. She doesn't know the Jedi are there. She thought she was going to surrender to the Wookiee.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't know the other Jedi were there yet, which, honestly, following a line of thought process, I figured they would have beat her there, which they should have if they left the planet the first time and went straight there.
You know, I guess
But they didn't do that.
also though, at that point, she knew that he was tied to the hymn that they kept talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if her plan was legitimately just to leave him there to die so that he wouldn't go tell him.
Well, probably. That actually kind of does make sense now that I think about it.
I think it's still stupid, but you know, it makes more sense.
Well, no, but her process, when he tells her that he'll kill her over it, she's like, he'll never find me. So maybe that was her thought. It was like, oh, I'm just going to drop on face of the earth. So, and then
Yeah.
we pull into Kelnaka's house and
He's already fucking
dead.
dead.
fucking died off screen.
And we were just like, it was like, what the fuck is this?
The most compelling character that we could have had fucking dies off screen. Doesn't even look like he got into a fight. He dies in a chair with a...
Yeah, it's like he was poisoned, right?
No,
By
he
the
was slashed. No, he was slashed.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a...
that's why she was like, he's here.
Yeah, so, yeah, he
Yeah.
Oh,
was...
that explains it again. Fuck.
First of all, it doesn't explain anything because all he has is like a slight little gash. Like, you know, kind of like how Kit Fisto, like how Palpatine killed Kit Fisto with that slash across the chest.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Killing,
Yeah.
killing an Aqua or a Nautilin kind of makes sense to me. I don't understand how that same like injury kills a fucking Wookiee.
Plot. Plot.
Those things are tough. Like, tough. Also,
They're supposed to be, yes.
you guys wouldn't know this because you haven't really been keeping up with like the outside part of the show, but a major draw of the show was we saw a scene with Kelnaka fighting in the trailer. There is a scene where he's fighting the...
Flashback?
No, there's a scene where he's fighting the Sith user. Or the Sith.
Oh, no, it might legitimately just be a flashback to when he died, right?
No, you would think so. If they decided to put that in a later episode, they would have lied to us right now because the writer for this episode said that they had that scene, but they cut it out for story and budget reasons.
What?
You had $180 million. What do you mean budget?
You're absolutely correct, Matt. The thing, they shouldn't even included the budget. This isn't a tweet. She included story because she said that it made the story kind of like non-linear, which I could kind of understand.
I
But why would you
guess.
include budget? You know this thing is overpriced. Don't include budget. You could have just said, we had it in the original draft. It made the story kind of loose and non-linear, so we left it out. Because it does kind of take away from the Sith just showing up, if you know he's there already.
They're
Still-
just trying to find excuses. That's all it is at
But
this point.
I would say that's also a stupid reason, and we'll talk about in episode 5 why I think that was a stupid reason. But that's the end of episode 4. Oh, Sith levitate, Force levitate, come behind. Force get the fuck out of my way, which was also really funny to me.
Oh yeah.
Watching Ghost just get fucking thrown. And then Force repulse, end of the episode. Episode 4, how would you guys rate it?
Honestly, the end of that episode was
The end of it was
pretty
pretty
badass. I'm not
I
gonna
thought it was
lie.
pretty cool, which is why it's a 4 out of 10.
Mm,
Because nothing
I'm good.
fucking happens in the whole episode.
I'm
I
good.
really liked watching Kelnaka make his seaweed breakfast. That was pretty cool.
I'm still giving
His little
it a 3.
salad.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I don't know.
3?
Like, yeah, because like, don't get me wrong, the ending part was good, but like, it just. it was
You know
so
what, Matt? You've
boring
convinced
to
me. I'm butting mine
fuck
down to
with.
a 3 too.
I was
It was just
between
so
3 and
boring.
4 personally, just
3.5.
because
3.5.
like I thought that there was some better story building than there had been, especially in the episode
Actually, no.
before it.
I will keep it as a 4 because I liked the bug scene. I just wished it was longer.
Yeah, I wish there was more to it, right?
Right.
And then It was good. The ending is really what made it a little better for me because that was a fantastic cliffhanger. That was a good piece of fucking like showtelling.
See,
you know?
I'm going to disagree with you there, and I think they should have just made that one episode. They should have made episode 4 and 5 one episode.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, but I mean, like, here's the thing. I mean, you're watching it as it releases, technically, right?
Yeah,
we're getting it out of you,
Right.
But for me personally, I love shit like that because it gives you a sense of like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And when you're watching it week to week and you're actually invested in a show, so when the show is actually good and they do something like that, it's fantastic. However, this show is not good. Therefore, my argument is kind of nullified, but still.
Your line of logic does make sense, but not for this show because this is what actually
for a good
happened.
Show, it would make sense.
Right, your line of logic makes sense. This is what happened for this show. This episode ended, and then everyone spent a week going, so everyone in that scene has to fucking die now, right? Because they just saw a guy with a red lightsaber. So everyone's going to die now. And then everyone was like, so we're all in agreement that the obvious answer is obvious as to who the Sith is, right? The only other one who's on the planet, right? We all agree with that. Also, isn't that some bullshit how we didn't get to see the Wookiee fucking fight? Yeah, that was how this was reacted to instead of what you said, which would be better. But this is how what actually happened. Because everyone just got more and more upset.
Yeah, that makes sense though, I guess, when you think about it that way.
And that moves us into the newest episode, episode 5, which, again, this is why I think this should have been made one episode because, like you said, I've been watching it week by week. So as the way the episode starts on OSHA, which cut all tension immediately.
Don't you just love recaps?
Oh, yeah.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, I skipped the freaking recaps.
I can't do recaps. I don't like recaps.
I think they're
Especially
stupid.
if I'm binging something, right?
Yeah, especially under the impression that you've already watched all of it. You don't need a reminder. Man, it's from
That's
a
what I
weekly
hated
model.
about
It
Naruto with
kind
that
of makes
fucking
sense, but this show
remember
treats
when
us like
Naruto
we're
episodes
stupid,
would
which
do
is
that?
why it has to give us title cards on every planet we go to,
Oh,
as if
God.
we didn't know that was fucking Coruscant twice.
Oh, but see, they're trying to cater to new watchers.
New watchers ain't watching this shit.
No.
Hell, fans aren't watching.
And if
this
they
shit.
are, they're never gonna watch Star Wars again.
Right. So I didn't like that it cut to OSHA in the beginning of the episode because it cut the tension from the ending of the last episode. Like you said, it's a really cool cliffhanger. It would have been better to just do one episode and go straight into the fight. Or start off on the fight. Instead, the fight's already been happening, apparently. We lost a good 5 minutes of lightsaber battles in between episodes, apparently.
Yeah, that's also real stupid.
All right.
Like real stupid.
2 hours and 40 minutes in, and we're finally getting to the newest episode. Here we go.
Oh my god.
This is why we should have done this earlier. Maybe we'll do one.
That's fine.
Maybe we'll do one next week where we can just do one episode.
I mean, you guys have it real late. It's only 9:46 here.
I don't work tomorrow, so it should be fun.
I do, unfortunately.
I do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. Do you need to go?
Nah, we can finish it real quick. It ain't no big deal. I don't
Right.
go to work till like fucking 11 o'clock in the morning anyway.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So, onto the lightsaber fight again. Coolest part of the show, hands down,
Absolutely. Bar none.
bar none, the best lightsaber choreography we've gotten out of a Star Wars show.
In a long time?
Arguably, which is more infuriating to me because we've had a Kenobi and an Ahsoka show. I hate that it's taken them this long to get it right.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They were bragging that this lightsaber battle would top the Duel of the Fates. It does not do that.
They said that's what was gonna happen.
Yeah, they
Maybe
also
if
thought the
you've
show was
never
good.
seen
So
the original movies,
Yeah, that
so
was-
yeah, this ain't no Nick Gilliard choreography. This is fan film lightsaber choreography at best. I've seen fan film choreography with better.
no, there's fan film choreography way better. Look at the way they redid the fight between Ben and Vader.
Oh yeah, well they redid it because the
Yeah.
original one sucks. This is another thing I fucking hate about modern Star Wars lightsaber fights. Why are they always in the dark?
Because they gotta
God.
have
You
the
gotta have that- you
glowing
gotta have that
sword.
It's always dark, and this seems worse because it's also dark and also obscured by trees.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I'm almost positive if we saw this fight in like light with everyone in view, we'd see how it's actually shit. Because there are a lot of moments in the fight where you see people just walking by him and not attacking when they should, and then they just kind of go off screen for a little bit and not join the fight again, so there's only 2 people fighting him at once. Sol and Jackie are just not there for some reason in the beginning. Because episode 2 ended, everyone was facing the house, right? So he pushed them back, which means they could have only gone far back as the house. They couldn't have been flown a half a mile into the woods. That's definitely not what happened. So the fact that the fight starts and Sol and Jackie are both not there doesn't make any sense.
No, it really doesn't.
And I'm picking it apart more because I did initially like the fights, but the more and more I would pick it apart, the more I'm like, okay, this actually kind of sucks. Like you're disguising it with pretty cool lightsaber flourishing, which I will admit, the 1-on-1s and the 2-on-1s, those are actually done fairly well. Even the 2-on-1s have moments where, like when Jackie and Sol are fighting him, there's a moment where Jackie just goes to like a block when he's not attacking her, even though she could have clearly attacked him and hit him. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the thing that I'm sure you guys noticed. A lot of people didn't. And that's the cortosis.
I'm sorry, what?
You noticed the cortosis, right? Did you watch episode 6, Matt? Or episode 5?
No,
5.
I watched episode 5, but I didn't see episode 6.
Oh, episode 6 ain't out yet.
No,
That's 'cause
6
I'm off.
hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
then
you
I'm
noticed
trying to
his
I'm trying to remember what the cortosis is.
you notice his helmet and his wristbands.
Oh yes, the armor. Okay, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah, it's cortosis, which
Yeah,
I
knew
noticed
that.
as a Star Wars fan.
I
Zay,
forgot
I'm
that's
sure
what it
you
was
noticed
called.
it too.
Again, I was watching it kind of in the background, so
Oh, so you didn't notice
You
it?
mean the fact that like he headbutts
I did
it
not
with his
actually.
fucking
I,
helmet
I
and
legitimately did not.
hits it with the bracers?
Oh yeah, so Smilo Ren's is what I call him. That's what a lot of people call him.
Bro,
Smilo Ren.
you got discount Kylo Ren, which is already discount Vader.
Yeah, Smilo Ren because he has the helmet and he has like the little teeth in it. But
I will admit that was kind of an interesting thing. I do kind of like that aesthetic choice.
and it actually
Thanks.
kind of makes sense because he's trying to keep his identity secret. So it makes sense aesthetically.
To have a mask, and it's not just, well, I want to look like my grandpa.
So his helmet and his vam brace are made out of cortosis because he headbutts people's lightsabers, their lightsabers shut off. He blocks one with his arms, the lightsaber shut off. I noticed it right away, and I'm like, oh, cool, cortosis. Wait, that means
Yeah,
someone
I
here
noticed it
knows
too.
like Star Wars lore, which just made me more mad.
Wait, what?
Like, I can forgive all the dumb shit they've been doing so far just because they've hired a bunch of people who don't know Star Wars. But that means they have someone on their team who understands
Who
deep
knows
lore.
what cortosis does?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that just means they don't listen to that person, probably.
Probably, you're right.
Except for
They're just
that
like, hey,
one
this
part,
is
they're
really
like,
cool
hey, you
thing
know
that
what,
shuts off lightsabers. We should include that. And like, cool. Back in the broom
Like,
closet.
hey, there's this really interesting thing called cortosis, and if we added it on, it would make the fight scene more interesting. Like, there's probably people on these teams that are trying to fight to get it to be better, but there are people that don't listen.
And here's another thing. They don't ever explain what cortosis is. So a lot of the review the review channels I watch, people who are like baseline level Star Wars, they've watched the movies, they grew up with the movies, they understand like the movies and maybe the TV shows. They were so
They
confused.
don't have any idea what the
which
fuck
I
Oh,
assume
absolutely.
normal people were probably also really confused.
Oh, you know what? Now that you mention it, though, that does explain why their sabers were turning off.
Yeah.
In my head, because I wasn't watching it directly, because I was doing other shit, because I couldn't be bothered, I thought that he was like cutting them and they were getting shut off, like he was breaking their sabers. That makes so much more sense now.
Right. Well, a lot of like normie response was, "Oh, were the battery's not as good back in the High Republic? What the fuck's happening? Why are their sabers turning off?" So it was a cool stylistic choice for deep lore Star Wars fans. Confuses the shit out of normies.
Yeah.
And there are
call them
moments in the story where they could have explained. They could have just thrown in like 3 lines of dialogue and fixed the problem.
Literally, his gauntlets are
Just been like-
cortosis.
No, like there's a
Cortosis?
scene, like the scene where like Osha's talking to Yord and he's telling her like, "I don't understand. He doesn't follow the rules of combat," which is a stupid line, by the way. And she's like, and he's like, he gets in your head and he stays there. And she's like, "Oh, cool. My mom could do that. Not helpful, Osha. Thanks."
Makes no sense.
Could have been
in
a simple
this
scene.
context. But,
Could have been
you
a
know.
scene where he's like, since she's the know-it-all and she clearly is better than everyone else, he could have been like, somehow his armor turns off our lightsabers, and she's like, it must be made of cortosis or something. That's what they could have done. They could have easily injected 3 lines of dialogue and made everyone be on the same page. Like, oh, cool, there's a special element. Cool, gotcha. But no, they don't explain it. You have to go into you have to ask your friend next to you. Go, what's the deal with that shit?
Why is that
that's
happening?
Cortosis.
And then you have to
Well,
have
you
someone who
see.
actually knows Star Wars deep lore next to you when it happens. So, poor choice. It's a cool addition to the fight because it would make sense. It's why like a dark side user would use cortosis, because he's going to have to kill Jedi at some point. It makes sense. It's useless against anything else but Jedi. Because
Pretty much.
It doesn't absorb blaster fire. Blaster fire overheats it. It doesn't absorb impact because it's really brittle. It only works on lightsabers. So, but yeah, it's a cool addition to the fight though. I thought it was I looked at it and go,
that was
oh, cool,
definitely cool.
cortosis, and then I thought people are not going to know what's happening.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that episode just to see the fighting now. God damn it.
Yeah,
I mean, that was pretty cool though, him doing all that shit. And I was like, oh, that's kind of wild.
I thought it was pretty neat. Again, it's a poor choice on their end because they don't explain it.
Oh yeah.
What's funny enough is some of the Twitter threads I saw where people were like, "Oh, it's just anti lightsaber material. The hell is this?" And some people were like, that's
Yeah,
called
I just saw
frick.
that
It's
too.
actually a metal that they use and blah blah blah." I'm like, "That's not frick, dumbass.
Rick.
Frick's what they make like the Magna Guards, like electrostats are made out of.
Oh.
It's lightsaber resistant. It doesn't shut them off though.
See, I was expecting more people to be like, oh, it's like vibroblade tech, right?
I thought people were gonna think it was Beskar. That's what I thought people were gonna think it was.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're right,
Just
because
because
that's like the normal thing now.
That's what normies would say. Like, oh, it blocks lightsabers. Must be Beskar or something. It makes the same noise too.
Oh yeah, it did it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really think about that until just
What if
now,
they
but
did
yeah.
end up making it Beskar just to tie it in?
God, no. That wouldn't make sense. Then they would decanonize what happened in the Mandalorian because the Darksaber doesn't turn off when it hits Beskar. Ahsoka's lightsabers didn't turn off when they hit Beskar. Otherwise,
Remember, they just don't care about what's canon anymore.
speaking of not caring about what happens with canon, we get the big reveal. Lo and behold, obvious answer was obvious. It was Chimere.
Oh, I know, right?
Well,
Anyone who was paying attention at all was like, okay, that dude's probably the big bad. And then when he was asking May, like, you really never had any idea that it was me?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, man, what the hell's wrong with you? You've known him a lot longer than we all did, and we all knew it was him right away.
it was very easy to tell.
So there was some discourse going on that everyone was thinking, well, it's so obvious they wouldn't make it him, right? He's clearly a red herring,
God.
right? That gives the writers far too much credit. I was on the crowd too. I'm like, it's so obvious they wouldn't make it him, right? Also, they've been very insistent on saying him all the time. I was genuinely convinced it was going to be a chick.
That would have made more sense, though.
I thought it was going to be a chick. How often they said him, and I'm like, oh, with how big this show is on like breaking down
The
those gender
women thing.
barriers,
Yeah.
that would have made it a chick. But no, they.
The whammons.
And funny enough, he is the best actor in the show.
Oh, absolutely. No, his
Bar
shit
none.
is like good.
He's actually
Everybody else is like, oh god.
He's a
stop,
compelling
please."
villain.
Oh yeah.
We skipped over a part where Jackie decides to fight May.
Who?
Oh, and try to arrest her in the middle of the whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
This-
Just reading off for the murder of this, for the murder of that, for the murder.
Like, just put the
Reading off her
fucking handcuff
Miranda
on
rights in the
already,
middle of
you
the,
man.
middle of the fight.
And it's like, what are you doing? There's obviously bigger fish to fry.
Also, she doesn't pull out her lightsaber, which I talked about this earlier. I hate that. There's a dude over there just killing Jedi left and right. This guy's gone through at least a good 5-6 Jedi at this point. You're past the point of subduing people with kung fu. Whip the lightsaber out, chop off May's foot, and call it a day. Arrest her.
Nah,
Done.
We can't do that.
But no, she keeps using kung fu. Even when May's throwing knives at her and she deflects one with like a bucket and then throws a bucket at her. When I first read it, I thought, oh, she must have been disarmed so she doesn't have her saber. But that's not true. She still has it.
Well,
Ugh.
of course she still has it. Doy.
We're almost 3 hours in. We're finally on episode 5 at least.
Look, man, you know how these go.
Yeah, I for sure am not. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't do the whole Riverside thing because I am not editing a 3-hour-long podcast. Fuck that. This is going straight up onto the channel as it is.
Fair enough.
So, and then it cuts to, or she gets away. I also thought it was really funny that she just drop kicks May. Just from off screen.
This is
Just
great.
pah. Moreover, the fact that May was just watching the fight the whole time from the door and didn't do anything.
Well, what is she gonna do?
Well,
Fucking
even the
She's
po-
probably
Sunglasses?
scared of him,
Well,
right?
there's the point where Osha wakes up in the clearing, like, by herself. Like, the fight's over, like, 20 feet away, happening. And then Osha wakes up in the clearing by herself. Why didn't May come out and say, oh my god, Osha? She just kept sitting there staring at him.
Because she was probably afraid.
Sure.
That's the only thing I can say, right?
I'll go with the master assassin who's fought 2 Jedi now is so rooted in fear. She does run away from everything. I don't like May.
Well, the thing is the fact that that guy is the whole thing that she is afraid of, right?
True.
Like the second she realized that Kelnako was killed by him, she was done. Like her entire confidence in anything was shattered.
Okay, I'll give you that. I would like to think that maybe her love, I'm going to use heavy quotations on love for Osha, would override that fear. Because, she decided to
Yeah.
stop being evil for her
Right then and
sister.
there.
Also, remember how
Yeah,
she
like-
said she was going to surrender to the Jedi and then just doesn't surrender as Jackie is like trying to arrest her?
Yeah.
Well,
She goes back
I
to the
mean,
whole, I'm
to
just
be-
going to start killing Jedi again.
I mean, to be fair, like again, she's still scared of fucking what's his name because he's clearly out to kill her for some reason.
Smilo Ren.
I mean, that's not even for some reason. That is
It's just 'cause she's
legitimately.
like, oh, I know you're here to betray me, so I'm just gonna kill you.
Right.
done with
I skipped over to the reveal before we had a couple more things to cover. So we have May run out of the house. Jackie subdues her, but May still gets away after she gets handcuffed. And then,
After she gets handcuffed. Remember that, people. After.
yeah, she got handcuffed. And then I think, I'm trying to remember, Smilo Ren then attacks both of them. They attack both of them. Or he attacks Jackie while they're both there and then taunts, this is a good Padawan because she's loyal. Blah, blah, blah. We talk about how the Padawan did a much better job against the Sith than like 6 other Jedi Knights at once.
And some masters.
Oh yeah, and some Masters. You're right.
That is weird to think about. Like,
This
I
is
hate
the
when
point.
They do that.
This is the point of the
It's
choreography
like,
that I
he's
actually
this
liked the
strong
most
fucking- he's
because
like the strongest fucking thing there. Then all of a sudden, takes out everybody except for like 2 people. Then it's like, all right, now I can't take out anybody.
this is the point of the choreography I like the most because I think that her Jarkai was like really good. The dual saber technique. It was very reminiscent of like Anakin doing it in Attack of the Clones. I liked it a lot. Probably my favorite part of the fight. And then he basically whoops I feel like he was just playing with kid gloves because as soon as May starts running away, he gets serious
Yeah.
and then just floors her and then just doesn't kill her. He does that a lot. He fights people and then just stops fighting them and then leaves.
He is weird. He is kind of weird about that, ain't he?
think we
I
skipped-
do like to. There was the time he's just like, you would give away your identity or risk being revealed, and he's like, well, I was wearing a mask.
Funny line. Not what he was asking though.
God, like that was a good line. I liked that a
I think
lot.
I think we skipped the part where Yord fights him for the beginning. Or not Yord. Oh yeah, Yord does fight him and then gets his leg injured. Remember when Obi-Wan got that same injury and was like done?
Mm-hmm.
Yord gets that injury on his leg and just up and running around the woods later. Point that one out. And then
Yeah,
Soul
that
fights
was
him.
weird. Until-
Yeah, like how the fuck is he starting to run with the damn cut in his leg like that?
And then Soul fights him. They fight for a little bit, and then he leaves. Just doesn't fight Soul anymore, even though he had like an advantage. He just left. I would assume to go find May. He just does this a lot. He could kill people, but then leaves. Chases after May. breaks May's handcuffs before trying to kill her. I don't understand that.
Nope. If you're trying to kill him, why would you bother?
I would imagine, like, the argument being she blocked with the handcuffs, so he broke that.
Well, that's
pretty
what
sure.
I thought too at first, but he aimed for the handcuffs.
Yeah, he was aiming at the handcuffs. That's just probably poor choreography on their end. They didn't make it look legit. There's a lot of moments where, like, Soul was attacking him and not actually attacking him. He's attacking to the side. Which, in all fairness, is for YouTuber choreography. I've seen a lot of fan film choreography. The way they do it, that's how you have to aim so you don't hurt each other, right? You don't want to aim at them. You want to aim at the saber. At this point, especially with this kind of budget, this late in the game, for a studio of this caliber, you guys got to make it look more realistic. You got to make it so they're attacking each other. Come on. You guys can film it so it looks like people are being attacked instead of them attacking to the side. That's a nitpick, though. I won't get too hard on that because obviously safety is important, sure. I feel like a studio with $180 million in budget should be able to get around that.
You would think.
You would be wrong.
Be wrong. All right, so saves or cuts May's handcuffs, then tries to stab her. Soul gets in the way, or Soul pulls her away. Then Soul and Jackie start fighting him, which I thought was pretty cool. Thought it was done fairly well. It's definitely no Duel of Fates. It ain't no Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fighting, but it's close. It's reminiscent of Master and Apprentice fighting at the same
That
time.
song
Pretty
is
cool.
Single-handedly one of the best songs in history.
What I thought was weird, May runs away again. He pushes her into a rock, and then he's about to attack her, and then Jackie deflects his saber. Why did she save May, is what I'm trying to figure out.
Huh.
Like,
Probably because the whole we're Jedi, we're not supposed to kill or some stupid shit.
I'm pretty sure at that point in time you can follow Batman logic. Sith is trying to kill other Sith. Let Sith kill Sith. I'm pretty sure at that point in time you can follow Batman logic. I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to stop him from doing it.
Kill you, but I ain't going. Yeah, I was about to say I don't have to kill you.
Like not even 3 minutes ago, May was trying to stab her. She did stab her. She got cut on her leg while they were fighting. I'm pretty sure, like, I get you want to subdue people when you can, but if a Sith is trying to kill another Sith, I'm pretty sure you just let it happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they're bad guys.
Another Wednesday. At that point, it's just another Wednesday.
I understand Soul trying to save her because Soul has like a sentimental attachment to her. She has no attachment to May, as far as she know. Like you saw her taunting her earlier, like you're under arrest for the murder of all the people I know and love. I understand Soul.
No, right?
I understand Soul saving May. I don't understand Jackie saving May. That doesn't make any sense.
The only thing I can think of is maybe it was like a for my master kind of thing.
Maybe.
But also, plot armor.
Yeah, you're right.
Plarmer.
Oh, 100% good old Plarmer.
So Smilo turns off Soul's saber, and then they start kung fu fighting. They were all fast as lightning. This is the only time in this entire show that I thought that the kung fu made sense. Because your lightsaber doesn't work.
Lightsaber's broken.
Your lightsaber's off. Now's the time to do kung fu. That made sense. But then he gets pushed to... Jackie jumps off and starts fighting him by herself. For some reason, Soul doesn't help her. Like, I get your saber's off. You could force...
I feel like they're really, really trying to paint Soul as like an incompetent master.
Well, of course. They're all supposed to be incompetent. That's basically been the whole point of this. Is the Jedi are incompetent. Yeah, specifically the male Jedi. But
yeah.
It's almost like it's following a trend.
There's also this is a problem with modern filmmaking. They have the smallest amount of object permanence. If someone's not in a shot, they just treat them like they don't exist. So Soul is off screen while Jackie is fighting one-on-one before she dies. And Soul is just not doing anything just because his lightsaber is off. Dude, force push pull or something. You can help. You're the master.
I feel like we could make a better TV show with like $30 than people do with movies.
Oh, if I had 180 million, I'd make a Pelagius movie and it would be fucking amazing. Brilliant.
But no one would want a Plagueis movie,
I disagree.
according to them.
I disagree.
You're
But,
I'm saying that's what they would try to say.
They would say, yeah.
But Jackie dies after the big reveal,
fucking
or before,
figure.
right before the big reveal. I
Right
thought it
before
was
the
really
big
funny
reveal
that he
where they
stabbed her
fucking-
3 times.
Like, ding, ding, ding.
With the short little fucking saber too.
Yeah,
His
like,
little
bro.
like, what is that fucking blade? Like the
The
Tonto
Shoto,
blade or
the
whatever?
Shoto, the Shoto saber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? I've never seen a short blade like that
Well,
ever in a Star Wars media.
I have in Jedi Survivor.
Well, yeah.
Well,
It's not a
yeah,
normal
I
thing to
guess.
see a
I-
lot of.
Yeah,
Was it
the
Jedi Survivor or was it
Jedi
Fallen
Survi-
Order?
The Jedi Survivor is the one where he has 2 blades. His
Yeah, but
lightsaber pulls out
in
next to
Fallen
blades.
Order, when he gets to the 2 blades, the second one is the smaller one, right?
I think
'Cause
maybe
it's,
it was in Fallen Order too. I just know for a fact it was in
No,
Survivor.
I think Fallen Order is the one where he has the fucking. He has the where it's like Darth Maul's blade.
No, because
he
you
also-
can have that in both, but
yeah,
the
right.
story thing in Fallen Order is
where he
when
gets
you
it
go and you
broken.
fix his lightsaber, he grafts sears onto the end, and sears is
Yeah.
a shorter little thing that's used specifically for like parrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I forgot all
But
about that.
I thought it was funny that
And it
she,
looked so terrible that they issued an entire patch that people could change the hilt again.
I thought it was really funny that they stabbed her 3 times, just because there's been the ongoing controversy that lightsabers aren't lethal because people just get stabbed and live.
Nope, he died after that. Third
So
stab.
yeah, it turns out getting stabbed once is the one you live through. Getting stabbed 3 times, that's the one that kills you.
That's a bit much.
I don't know. He killed that one guy by stabbing him right in the heart. If you saw.
Oh yeah. Lightsabers were lethal again. Thank God it took them fucking 4 shows to learn. Thank God they finally figured it out. Too bad it wasn't lethal in Kenobi or Ahsoka. Fucking A.
Nah, because that would have been too easy.
And so yeah, Jackie dies, which I am genuinely surprised they killed her.
Me too, actually. But at the same time, like, basically everybody has to die,
Yeah,
right?
everyone in the scene has to die. So, but like she was the strong young female Jedi who was better than everyone and everything. And she had this little flirty moment going on with Osha in episode 4, where they were like flirting a little bit. And I was like, oh, there's gonna be a little young girl romance. Wouldn't put that past Disney. Have a bunch of children have romance. Wouldn't put it past them. But I was
The
surprised.
young girl romance. Oh my god.
I was surprised they killed her. But then again, you're right.
Yeah,
they had
honestly,
to.
no, it is like legitimately surprising that they decided to do that.
And then shortly after that, Yor jumps in, and then goes out
Oh
like
my
a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, like he tried to take him hostage for a second and just went, never mind, crack.
Couldn't even die by lightsaber. He got his neck snapped.
Jesus Christ. That was one of those things where I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I actually audibly went, oh shit. Mostly because I was just
That's a
surprised they
brutal
killed
way to
him.
go.
It's like, oh god, they're making good decisions for storytelling
I
purposes.
was like, oh.
You know full well it wasn't the fucking creative director. She was out. Whatever her fucking name is, she was out, and they let the actual fans run.
Guys, get rid of him. Guys, get rid of him. Guys, get rid of him.
Nah, I
So
just
why?
think it's going off your assumptions, is they have to all die. Otherwise the show doesn't
No,
make
like
sense.
they have to.
Otherwise lore's
Well,
broken,
yeah,
which
they have to.
puts us in a jam for the next few episodes. They have 3 episodes left. They've killed off 85% of the main
cast already.
cast.
You know the thing that throws me off a little bit more though, like not only does everybody that was in that room that saw him have to die, I kind of feel like he has to die.
Oh, we'll finish off with
I'm
that. I have a
surprised he
theory.
didn't when- I'm actually surprised he didn't die when the bugs grabbed him.
I have a fan
was
theory
like-
that I wanted to throw past you guys because I feel like this is the only way the show should end, but it probably won't. But we'll get to that in a sec. So he reveals himself as a Sith.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I said this in my review video that I released today. I said, well, guys, canon hasn't been broken yet. Soul has to die now.
Mm-hmm. He has to. Absolutely.
The way I thought they were going to skirt around it when they first revealed him, I thought, oh, he's not a real Sith, right? They're just going to say he's just a pretender. That's what I give them the assumption. I don't think he's an actual Sith. I think he's a pretender.
You think so?
Whether or
But
not...
then he said he was Sith.
Right. So the Jedi aren't going to think that. The way I view it is this guy's clearly not an actual Sith. But
I guess what he said was, "I'm what you Jedi would call Sith," right? Like those were his exact words.
well, there's 3 ways to go about this. Either Soul dies, so no one ever finds out that the Sith are back. They come to the conclusion that he's not an actual Sith, and be like, okay, he was just a pretender. He thought he was a Sith. He's not clear. He clearly wasn't a real Sith. He didn't know anything, which is the way I think they're going to go. And the third way, which I wouldn't put past them, is the council finds out the Sith are actually alive, and it's all just a massive cover-up. So they can just rewrite. They can rewrite the canon that way. That's the whole.
See, and then you have the thing about
the whole reason
the
they
red
had-
saber, right?
Yeah, the whole reason they had Kaidi Mundi in that scene was so that he would be aware of the cover-up. So in the Phantom Menace, when he says the Sith have been extinct for millennia, he was lying. That's what I think they're going to do.
Could you imagine?
They would
Oh
do
my
anything in their
God.
power to rewrite the original show, the original movies. So I wouldn't put it past
absolutely.
them. I wouldn't put it past them. But what were you
God damn
saying?
it, that would be so stupid, though.
What were you saying about
What was I saying?
the saber? Something about the saber.
Oh yeah, no, because the red saber. That's a whole thing, right?
Right. The crystal bleeding is a Sith technique, so I think it's kind of bizarre that he might actually be a real Sith, which annoys me even more. And also, he has the ability to get in people's heads like the space witches did, which makes me think that his master is the Zabrak mom, which is what people were speculating was going to be. Smilo Ren was the Zabrak mom. That's why if it was going to be a woman, it was going to be her, because we didn't see her die in episode 3. She's not among the dead in episode 3. The theory is that she's still alive. Maybe she's
That's crazy. I hadn't
big
thought
master.
of that.
Yeah, that's currently what the ongoing fan theory is. And by I use fan in the loosest term possible.
Yeah,
The people who are forced
it's
to
an
watch
interesting
this
thought,
theory.
though.
So yeah, they fight. They trick. They use the bugs from earlier. How he's able to kill 5 Jedi Knights and a couple Masters on his own, but can't fight off a few bugs. Don't know. Pretty sure Force Repulse is a thing. Or is that just a Starkiller ability, I guess?
No, it's a real thing, but I think it leans more into the fact that Force Repulse for Jedi is just like a weaker version than Starkiller used, because Starkiller could just straight up vaporize.
I'm pretty sure he has enough to push a few bugs off of him, though. Also, they assume that was enough to kill him. They just leave.
That's the fucked up part.
They just leave.
Why did if she was gonna do that to get him killed anyway? Why didn't she just let Soul kill him in the first?
Oh, right. Oh, thank you, Matt. We almost skipped over that. Why did she stop Soul from killing him?
I don't know.
This is another thing. Like, I understand if Soul, because obviously they were going off the whole he's giving into anger thing, basic Jedi trope, you know. I would have been cooler if he stopped himself of his own volition. Why did Osha stop him?
I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
She failed Jedi training because she's too emotional, right? She just watched this dude kill Soul or Yord right in front of her, and she felt him kill Jeki. So she knows he's killed her friends. She has zero motivation to stop Soul from killing him. But does anyway. That's stupid. Would have been more compelling if Soul decided to stop himself and try and be like a Jedi, you know? Like, a Jedi does not attack in anger. Also, the whole Jedi don't attack the unarmed thing is stupid.
Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
not.
Jedi don't attack defenseless people. Just because they're unarmed doesn't mean anything. You just killed Yord with your bare hands. You being unarmed fucking means nothing. You're going to kill more people. Jedi don't kill defenseless people. Like,
I gotta
when-
admit, I am
Like when-
so this episode has made me a little more compelled to see where they're going with the story, because I'm very interested to see where Chimer's whole thing goes, right?
I'm just curious to see how they avoid breaking canon. That's all I give a shit about at this point.
I don't think they give a shit though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know, but I do. So I'm going to see how they fuck it all up.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
But
Because they're definitely gonna fuck it all up.
what was I about to say? Oh, right, because like when Anakin defeats Dooku, right? Dooku doesn't have arms and he doesn't have hands anymore. He can't fight anymore. which is why Anakin stopped attacking him. But like, when Mace Windu disarms Jango Fett, he doesn't just stop attacking. He finishes him because he's going to kill more people, right? Like, Jedi not attacking the unarmed is stupid. Jedi don't attack defenseless people. That's it. That's the limitation. Unarmed means nothing, especially when you can kill people with your mind.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
So again, they try and put this whole Jedi don't attack the unarmed. That's not true. Jedi don't attack the helpless. Totally fine. If he was like asleep, sure. And then he picks up his saber and I go, okay, cool, he's armed. You can kill him now.
No, and that's exactly my thing too. It's like, oh, you were waiting for him to get the weapon? All right, cool, good for you. You got your wish. There it is. Do it.
And so since they didn't kill him, they have to resort to the whole bug thing. Fine, they have a setup and a payoff, sure. At least some of them went to filmmaking school. And then the episode ends, Soul gets stunned, May and Osha decide to tussle. I won't say fight, they tussle. May force pushes her because Osha has 0 defense against the Force because she sucks, and gets knocked out with the movie kind of brain damage where it just knocks you out for a couple hours, you know?
Yeah, no, that whole thing. Oh my god.
Movie concussion that just knocks you out for a little bit. And then the Parent Trap happens where May switches, which is just my assumption that Leslie Helen just copies movies and then puts and just says, oh, that's cool, let's do that. The obvious thing, the thing you've seen every single twin story is, oh, what if the twins impersonate each other? The obvious shit. What were your thoughts on that, Zach? Because you said you were going to go hard on the Parent Trap thing.
Okay, so here's my thing, right? That the idea of like a Parent Trap and swapping out twins, that's a normal thing. That's a thing that can happen. But how on earth do they expect to do it in a world where the people that you're trying to infiltrate with it can sense who you are?
Right.
Like, what the fuck? They're just gonna be like, oh no, they look like each other. Is it supposed to be like, well, they have the same wavelength because they were made together? That doesn't fucking make any sense to me whatsoever. At all. None.
You just sparked a memory for me that actually completely proves your point properly. Yoda can sense each individual clone in the Force.
Yeah, no, like they can sense who people are.
Yeah.
Like your force signature is unique to you.
Yeah. Yoda has a scene in the Clone Wars where he sits down with 3 clones and he's like, remove your helmets. And they're like, we all look the same, sir. He's like, different in the Force you all are because you're all individual beings. So even clones of the exact same person are different in the Force. So yeah, that's
the whole thing.
That.
And they're just gonna fucking retcon that entirely. Yeah. Like that's just what's gonna happen. Is they're just gonna get rid of that.
Well, you know the reason why Basil's on their ship now is because he's gonna. Oh, two things. Basil's gonna be the one to tell Soul that May's the imposter, and
no, absolutely.
The tattoo on her arm is gonna be the thing that gives it away because that's the reason why they showed it in episode 2.
Yeah, it's fucking Chekhov's tattoo.
Yeah. Chekhov's tattoo.
Oh my God,
that's a good
Chekhov's
point.
tattoo.
Right. So, episode 5. I'll give it a 5.
I honestly think best episode yet.
Oh, it is
It's
by
not
far the
saying
best
a lot,
episode. Right. It's the best of the
but-
garbage pile.
Of the garbage.
The
Garbage
best-
pile is still garbage.
Yeah, the best of the dumpster fire. It's like when the dumpster fire crackles and something in it, like you had like a battery in the dumpster fire and the battery exploded. That's kind of like what this was. It's cool. Still a dumpster fire.
I'll give it a 5. I agree.
I'll say 5.
I agree with that. I'll give it a 5 because you know what? The fight scenes, the fucking, the reveal, I mean, like there's bits and pieces that are just straight up bad, obviously, but.
What
That's
about
kind of the whole thing of this show.
what about you, Zay? What did you rate it? I don't know if I heard you or not.
I honestly think 5 is still a little high,
What would you
personally.
give it a 4, maybe 3?
So here's the thing. What we said, episode 1 was like a 3. Wasn't that what we decided?
1 was a 3. Yeah.
Like it's better than 1. Like absolutely, it's better than 1. There's no doubt in my mind that it's better than episode 1. So I'm gonna have to give it a 4. I'm not particularly happy about giving it a 4, but at the same time, because objectively it is better than every episode prior, that's really all I can justify giving it.
I will say, I'm going to say 5 because, and I talk about this with like Boba Fett, for example. Boba Fett was fun to watch at the time. I don't ever plan on rewatching Boba Fett. I'll rewatch the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. I'll rewatch Andor. I'm never going to rewatch Boba Fett. I'm never going to rewatch Ahsoka. I'm never going to rewatch Kenobi. This episode, I can see myself going back and rewatching the fight. Just so I can like look at the choreography and see if I can differentiate just different styles, because the fight's kind of fun to watch. That's why
The
it's
fighting
a 5.
is like the one redeeming quality.
That's why it's a 5 for me, because I can see myself going back and rewatching parts of the fight. It's not like an 8 or a 9, but it's good enough for me to be like, you know what? I'll rewatch that. Because if I'll rate Boba Fett as like a 6 out of 10, because at least it was fun to watch at the time. There's still parts that annoyed the shit out of me, like the Vespa chase scene, and the fact that Boba Fett takes 3 episodes to shoot somebody, and the fact that part of it's Mandalorian season 3 part 1. So like there's like a bunch of it that I don't like, but at least I made it through, and I'm like, that was kind of fun. I'm not gonna rewatch it though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now that's why I'm giving it a 5. Now I want to run this by you guys, because this is my theory that is definitely not going to happen. But if it does, I'm going to be like, oh shit, I called it. This is the only way I will give this show a passing score. If this happens, I'll bump the show up to a 7. Swear to God. I will positively review this show and say, they did good. All right. But they're not going to, so I can say this out loud without any problem. This is how the show needs to end. May and Osha cannot beat Kymir. I don't give a fuck what universe you're in. I don't care how many Jedi you have on you. I'm thinking Vernestra Rowe is going to be the one to fight him, because there's the scene of her using a lightsaber whip, which, first of all, is stupid on its own. I'll cover that when it happens. She uses a lightsaber that just turns into a light whip, which is not how that works.
No.
That's in the trailer, so
Jesus
I'm gonna ignore
Christ.
that. But this is how the show should end. May and Osha, I don't care about their characters. They can make up and go start a new lesbian witch cult somewhere. Don't care. I don't care what happens to Soul. Kymir, the best way this show could end is Kymir gets away, everyone dies, he thinks he's gotten away scot-free, and then Darth Tenebris tracks him down and shows him what a real Sith is. That would be the best way to end this show. It would canonically make Darth Tenebris.
I see where you're coming at it, though. There's no way they're gonna bring Tenebris in.
But there's a way they could, though, because first of all, he's got cortosis. During Tenebris and Pelagius's, like before Tenebris died, like Tenebris died because cortosis mine blew up, because he was slowly acquiring them, because it's cortosis. It's a very valuable material against killing Jedi, right? So
That's fair.
Tenebris is buying them up as he finds them. So it would make sense that if Kymir got his hands on some, he probably took some from one of Tenebris's mines, which I thought would be really cool if Tenebris noticed that some guy was going around killing Jedi. And clearly he's strong in the Force, so I'm sure someone would sense him. It
Yeah.
would be so cool if that's how the show ends. Like episode 8, final like 10 minutes, he thinks he gets away from the whatever final battle there is. He kind of limps away, and then just Tenebris just fucking ends him. That
would actually be kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
right. I should be a fucking writer at Disney.
Honestly, though,
Should
like,
be
come
a fucking
on, we
writer
could do
Disney.
better
You
than
can
them
have-
with our fucking eyes
You
closed.
can have anyone really play him because he's a Bith, so most of it's going to be just going to be special effects. It doesn't have to be like an identifiable actor. You can have anyone play him. Just have a
Yeah, but they want to name drop.
Hmm?
But Disney
Oh,
likes
right.
to name drop.
You're right. They want to have their stars, but that so far I haven't seen anyone who could play him. So maybe I'm wrong. That's definitely not how they're going to end the show, but that's how I would end the show.
That'd be the smart way to end the show.
That's the only way they can make everything be intact is if the real Sith cuts down the fake Sith pretender. Because if he ends up being a actual Bane descended Sith, I'm gonna be fucking furious. Because that means Darth Tenebris and Darth Plagueis can't happen. Or Darth Tenebris is his lanky ass apprentice, or Darth Plagueis is gonna be Kymir's lanky ass apprentice. Yeah, so he's positioned at a point in time where currently, at this point in time, Darth Tenebris is the Darth Bane Sith Lord. He's the Rule of Two Sith Master right now at this point in time. There's also kind of rumors that they're going to make Kymir be Darth Venomous, which was Darth Tenebris' other apprentice, the one that he used to test Pelagius, who was also a Bith in the story, but maybe they're going to make him human just for plot reasons. I don't know.
Plot reasons.
But yeah, that's the way I want the show to end. It's not going to happen, but that's how I would do it.
It would be cool though.
Oh, right? I wish I could write this shit.
I wish I could write this shit. He said. Technically, you could. You just
Matt, you know
probably
people
won't
at
get
Disney,
into
right?
Disney. Not anymore. I used to.
Oh. What do you guys think? How would you prefer to see this go?
Honestly,
Honestly-
I wanted to end already. Just
So-
be like,
I want my suffering to end.
just put the little fucking what do you call it? The fucking manhole cover lid on top. and
Just put the Torben
slowly
poison
push it
right in
down.
front of me, please.
No, I don't know, because for me, the only way that it isn't a cop out is everyone dies.
I feel like that's the way they should go about it. It's the only way they could. I feel like they're going to go with the whole Jedi cover-up story.
Oh, almost
Yeah.
for sure.
Which is going to make me furious.
Yeah, there's really no good way, is there?
Also, anywhere in this universe, like, whoever is the actual Sith Lord right now would be furious right now. They would not like this guy going around saying he's a Sith. Ugh. That's why I still have, despite everything that they've done to me, I'm in I'm an abusive relationship with Lucasfilm right now.
You're
Swear to God, I think I keep hoping and praying that they do one thing right. That's the only thing they can do right, is make it so that they're not actually Sith.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is, back in the days of the old Republic and around then, maybe even longer before that, the Sith was kind of a race to a point, right?
Yeah.
So
there was a Sith Empire. So I actually learned,
like there was a Sith Empire,
I
but
actually-
the whole thing for me is the only way it could make sense if it's not pretty much what you're saying is if he was descendant from some like survivors of the Sith Empire that weren't considered like Sith, like active Sith, right? And they were like, well, this is the Dark Empire that we inherited, and you suddenly have powers this generation, or some stupid shit like that.
Maybe. I actually learned something earlier, I think it was yesterday. I was listening to people talk about in Legends, in the original expanded universe, the Sith never actually ruled anywhere in the Republic. I think is they had like a small, or they were in the unknown region, which is where like the eternal Sith Empire was. But in the new canon, they had their points in time where the Sith actually occupied like a portion of the galaxy and they went to war with the Republic. I didn't know that was different from Legends lore. I learned that the other day. Because like the Darth Revan saga of everything, where the Old Republic takes place, that's when the Sith are in the expanded regions. In like the unknown region.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. Whew. All right, I guess we will finish things out there, fellows. You guys thinking we do this again next week for episode 6? Be much shorter.
What is next week? Fucking 4th of July?
Oh, fucking
It
4th of
is.
July is next week, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally
that is next.
Thursday.
Shit.
I'm probably working.
All right, well,
day.
maybe we'll do an episode 5 and 6 cover the week after.
Yeah, I mean, I'm off both the 4th and the 5th, and as of current, I don't have any plans. So
I don't know.
Maybe we'll do a daily thing with just you and me.
Maybe.
If I'm off Thursdays, we can do a middle of the day thing with just you and me. Won't hurt. Won't hurt to talk about it multiple times.
And then we can go bitch about it while we run some Destiny.
Oh, better yet, we just do a Destiny stream where we're just talking shit about Star Wars.
Just talking shit about the Acolyte while we're also raging at fucking Destiny 2.
That actually sounds like a brilliant idea.
Like, this is how space combat should be.
Living the much better space story right now. All right.
Even though there's all sorts of shit with that game right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like good old Titans that just got shafted. Everything's fucking terrible for us.
So you're
Yeah, I like being a hunter. Being a hunter is great all the time.
Yeah, the problem is that a lot of the hunter mains, man, if they get nerfed at all, they just cry and bitch and moan. And we as Titans are like, oh, yeah, no, bring it back. Let them have what they want.
All right, fellas. Well, this was fun. I'm glad you guys were here. Glad you guys stuck it out. It's getting pretty late.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm still mad at you for making me watch this fucking show.
Yeah.
This was fun other than having to watch that.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it was having to watch it. But now I came across this after episode, I think it was episode 3. When I was growing up, I was told that Star Wars was an opera. It was a drama. Then after Disney bought it, I thought that Star Wars was a tragedy. Now I just realized Star Wars is just a comedy. Now we just laugh
It
at
started
how...
becoming a comedy with Jar Jar.
That's true.
Misa gonna fuck you up.
Which is funny because maybe it was because I was the demographic that they were trying to reach with Jar Jar, but I still kind of like the character.
Work with me. I like Jar Jar.
Hey, listen. Jar Jar Binks is the true evil Sith Lord of all Star Wars.
Yeah, I will always. Have you guys seen the shit for the new Lego Star Wars movie they're doing?
Where they made
And the guy goes, Darth Jar Jar? I was
saw
like,
that.
yes. I
Lego's
will watch this specifically for Darth Jar Jar.
Lego's been on point. I think the Lego Star Wars thing's gonna be funny.
Lego knows how to fucking.
That's because Lego's its own brand. Lego isn't bogged down by
Lego
it.
is also really good at fucking like making parodies of shit without like making it just straight up awful.
Oh, can we talk about how Lego has basically skirted copyright? It's fucking crazy.
You're not gonna be able to copyright because Lego owns its own IP.
I know.
People,
it's insane how Lego is able to make Lego Star Wars movies that have no attachment to Disney or Lucasfilm or anything. It's just crazy
because,
I think it kind of goes under the same genre as parody though. At that,
I think so
right?
too. But it just the brilliant marketing strategy that is Lego, where you can just take every other IP and make money off of it. How fucking brilliant is that?
Didn't Lego have
no,
runs with fucking Star Wars like back in the early 90s, like early 2000s or late 90s?
You guys remember Thumb Wars?
No. Maybe.
It's been a long time. I don't remember anything
I
from it.
feel like I remember that.
I just
but
remember
can't
it was a
quite
thing.
place it.
No.
All right, my throat's starting to hurt. We've been talking for 3.5 hours. Think we're gonna end it there.
Go drink some orange juice.
Whew. I don't have any orange juice.
pineapple.
I'm gonna go drink water. All right, fellas. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna
So let's
log
do
off
this
there.
again, totally, and not lobotomize myself.
We'll be back for probably episode 7.
But lobotomizing sounds like the only way to forget this show existed.
It is.
I'm getting blackout drunk.